Chapter 2405. No matter what you want to do to me, I will not cooperate with you. Yumerin said, but you'd better listen carefully. If you dare to lay a finger on me, you can forget about leaving unscathed. This is Hua Xia's territory. It's not a place for you Japanese to behave atrociously. Misa Fukada smiled. Miss you don't have the final say now. I'm in control of the situation now. You can only cooperate and have no other rights. But I don't want to cooperate. Whatever you do has nothing to do with me, Yumerin said. I won't bow down to you. You can do whatever you want. Miss you, that's not good. I think we should trust each other more. Wouldn't that be better? Misa Fukada didn't want to go overboard. She knew that some people were more suitable to be lured slowly. Coercion was meaningless. Unfortunately, Yumerin was unmoved by force or persuasion. She didn't even listen to a single word the other party said. The only thing in Yumerin's mind right now was to stand firm and face death with equanimity. In the Dragon Brigade, it wasn't just the warriors. It was the same for everyone. Although Yumerin had never participated in any dangerous missions and had never experienced such loyalty training and tests, she would still clearly tell herself that she was a Hua Xia citizen and a Hua Xia soldier. After more than an hour of persuasion, Misa Fukada still didn't get Yumerin's approval. She gradually lost her patience. Just as Misa Fukada lost her patience, another person entered the hotel room. Just like Misa Fukada, she was also a girl from the Sakura group. Her name was Konna Fujiwara. The matter has been settled, Fujiwara Konna said to Misa Fukada. It was obvious that Misa Fukada's status was higher than Fujiwara's. He didn't leave any obvious clues, did he? We have to hide this as much as possible. Otherwise, we will be in trouble, Misa Fukada said. Fujiwara Konna nodded. Don't worry, there won't be any problems. That's good. Misa Fukada nodded. Help me think of a way. How can I make her relent? Miss Yu is more difficult to deal with than we thought. I've already lost my patience. If it really doesn't work, I can only torture Miss Yu. After hearing Misa Fujiwara's words, she immediately rummaged through a red backpack to find something. Soon, she took out a lipstick. Misa Fukada took the lipstick from her hand. Miss Yu, don't underestimate this thing. Although it's small, the electric current it emits can make people beg for death. It doesn't have the strength of a high-power electric baton, but it can continuously give people an electric shock without causing any damage. I'm not afraid of you. Although Yumerin said this, she couldn't help but take a step back when faced with the strange item that the other party took out. I really don't want us to have a falling out, Misa Fukada said. Team leader Fukada, will the electric current hurt her brain memory? Fujiwara Konna suddenly reminded. After all, what they needed was what Yumerin knew in her brain. Misa Fukada was also slightly stunned. She really didn't think about this. However, when they came out for missions, they were all light and convenient. There were no other torture tools at all. This was the simplest way to torture the opponent. Do you not know the damage of electric shock? Yumerin saw hope. Electric current mainly hurts the human heart, breathing, and nervous system. That's why it disrupts a person's normal physiological activities, causing harm and even death. What are you trying to say? Misa Fukada asked. I want to say that when the electric current passes through the heart, it will cause the ventricles to be out of order, causing tremors and causing the blood circulation to stop. When the electric current passes through the brain and nerve center, it will cause breathing difficulties and damage a lot of brain cells. I really don't know how many brain cells of my memory will be damaged by your little electric lipstick. Misa Fukada was stunned for a moment. For a moment, she didn't know how to handle this matter. Although she knew what Yumerin meant, she didn't dare to take the risk. What if it really hurt her memory? The list of ingredients of the Ebola virus wasn't made randomly. It was the work of many virus experts over many years. After careful consideration, Misa Fukada decided to give up. After all, this matter wasn't that simple. Miss Yu, since you don't want to do this, you'd better cooperate with us. If you don't cooperate with us, it's meaningless for us to take your memory, Misa Fukada said. I really don't want to hurt you. I hope you understand. Yu Meiren said, then let me meet someone. Misa Fukada smiled slightly. I know who you want to meet. It's that guy called Su Yun, right? Yu Meiren was stunned. She didn't expect the Sakura group to be so powerful. They actually knew so many things. I can tell you very clearly, Miss Yu. Just an hour ago, Su Yun had led people to search the hotel. He is indeed very capable. He can find the police to help him, Misa Fukada said. And he can find this hotel. It really surprised me. Unfortunately, he didn't find you. Yu Meiren was slightly shocked. She unconsciously glanced at the smart device on her wrist. Yes, it must be this. Su Yun must have realized that something was wrong, so he asked the army for her location information. That was why he found her so quickly. It seems that Miss Yu knows why he found you. Misa Fukada's eyes were indeed sharp. She saw through Yu Meiren's expression at a glance. She suddenly grabbed Yu Meiren's wrist and took off the smart device on her wrist. Give it back to me. Yu Meiren glared. Misa Fukada smiled and handed the smart device to Konna Fujiwara. Miss Yu, I'm afraid it's all because of this thing that they can find you so quickly. You can't touch my things. Yu Meiren still wanted it back. Misa Fukada sneered. Do you think I'll return it to you? Miss Yu, if you're willing to write down what I want from me, no problem. I'll return it to you and let you go. Everything is okay. Otherwise, don't blame me for making use of your GPS device. Yu Meiren widened her eyes. She didn't know what Misa Fukada wanted to do. I can see that Su Yun cares about you a lot, and you care about him a lot, Misa Fukada said. Misa Fukada said, I believe we can use this thing to lure Su Yun to the place we want him to go. Ha ha ha. I'm afraid you and I can't predict what will happen then, right? You're so despicable. Yu Meiren took a deep breath and said angrily. Misa Fukada shook her head. This isn't despicable. This is just using everything that can be used. You won't get the result you want. Definitely not. Yu Meiren shook her head vigorously. Miss Yu, I believe that no matter what I do to you, you definitely won't agree to it. Misa Fukada said, so I thought of a better way. If I invite Mr. Su Yun here, then, you definitely won't want to hurt him, right? Yu Meiren was stunned. What do you mean? You'll understand when I invite Mr. Su Yun here, Misa Fukada said. Yu Meiren snorted. Impossible. You can't catch Su Yun. Su Yun won't be controlled by you. That's not necessarily true. Misa Fukada said, I believe that Mr. Su Yun won't want to see you get hurt, so he will definitely cooperate with us. What do you think? You're so despicable. Yu Meiren said. Misa Fukada smiled. As long as we have your location device, we can easily make Su Yun come to us. No, it won't be as smooth as you think. Stop dreaming. Yu Meiren said, Su Yun won't let you go. You'll fail. Misa Fukada no longer paid attention to Yu Meiren. She turned to Fujiwara Konna and said, Do you understand what I mean? Your Chinese is very good, so you're the most suitable person to do this mission. Yes. I understand, leader. Fujiwara Konna said. Remember a woman's most effective weapon, and remember the common weakness of all men. You'll succeed. Misa Fukada said. Chapter 2406. What do you want to do to Su Yun? Yu Meiren glared at Misa Fukada and said, Are you crazy? We are crazy, Misa Fukada said. Misa Fukada said, Since you don't want to cooperate with us, why should we hang ourselves on you? Miss Yu, you don't care about your own life, but you can't treat Su Yun's life as a joke. Yu Meiren bit her lips. Misa Fukada was right. If they threatened her with Su Yun's life, she would really hesitate. She would be worried that she couldn't hold on. Fujiwara Konna said, Then when should we do it? Let him be anxious for a while, Misa Fukada said. Misa Fukada said, When he's desperate, he'll naturally lose his judgment, and that's our best chance. Unfortunately, it won't be as you wish. Su Yun is not the kind of person who loses his mind. No matter what the situation is, he will not lose his judgment. Stop daydreaming. Yu Meiren snorted and said firmly, "You won't succeed." Misa Fukada looked at the sky outside the window and said, "Miss Yu, no matter how rational a person is, he will lose his mind if the woman around him is in danger. Please believe this." Yu Meiren suddenly fell silent. No one knew what she was thinking. Finally, the corners of her mouth raised slightly and she smiled faintly. "Really? Then you may have found the wrong person. I am not his woman, I am just his colleague and friend." Thinking of the conversation she heard in Sky Entertainment Group today, Yu Meiren felt very uncomfortable. She didn't know what was wrong with her, but this feeling was so strong. She would rather not be considered Su Yun's woman than be a burden to Su Yun. "You don't have the final say." Misa Fukada snorted. "Whether it is or not, we can naturally judge. When you realize that your judgment is wrong, it's already too late. You'll definitely regret it. I guarantee that you'll definitely regret it." After saying that, Beauty Yu closed her eyes. Wasn't her inner world struggling as well? Yu Meiren's worries and expectations made her not know how to face the current situation. Misa Fukada thought for a moment and said to Fujiwara Kanna, "I will take my men and leave first. When the time is right, get ready to act." "I understand," Fujiwara Kanna said. "This is the best place to solve it." Misa Fukada said, "Remember, you must be sure to bring him here alone. You must be careful with the people around him." Kanna Fujiwara nodded seriously. She was well aware of the importance and difficulty of this mission. Kaneda Tekawawa has always thought that his team is the most capable team in our Sakura group. This time, we will prove that we are much stronger than him. Misa Fukada said, "A man who thinks he is infallible." Japanese men had strong male chauvinism. The whole world knew this, so Japanese men always thought that they were stronger than women. No matter what, they were stronger than women. So this time, regarding the Ebola virus weapon, Kaneda Tekawawa strongly denied the ability of women like Misa Fukada and took the mission for himself. He wanted to use the success of this mission to prove that he was right and that women were unreliable. Kaneda Tekawawa's actions caused Misa Fukada to feel disgusted. Therefore, Misa Fukada didn't feel sad about Kaneda Tekawawa's failure at all. Instead, she enjoyed the result of this failure. This way, there was finally one less person in the Sakura group who opposed them. Although Kaneda Tekawawa and Misa Fukada were from the same sect, Misa Fukada didn't have a good impression of Kaneda Tekawawa. "As long as we win this mission, we will be able to gain more respect," Fujiwara Kanna said. "Please rest assured, Team Leader Fukada. I will not let you down. This is a battle for the honor of us women." Misa Fukada said, "Even if Kaneda Tekawawa is dead, I will still prove to him that our women's bodies are not just a man's plaything, but also our natural weapon." This time, they were able to enter the Hua Xia group so easily because of the natural fragility of women. No one would realize how dangerous they were. At around 9 o'clock in the evening, Su Yun finally found Yu Meiren's location. This was definitely exciting news for Su Yun. Su Yun immediately started tracking, and the target finally stopped at a nightclub. It was impossible for Yu Meiren to go to a nightclub alone. Su Yun knew her character too well, so Su Yun immediately realized that something was wrong. After arriving at the location, Su Yun quickly got out of the car. At this time, a girl stood in front of him and reached out to stop Su Yun from closing the door. Su Yun looked at the girl standing in front of him vigilantly. "Can you buy me a drink?" The girl smiled slightly. She was Fujiwara Kanna from the Sakura group, Misa Fujiwara. "Sorry, I don't have time." Su Yun rejected the other party's invitation. Nowadays, there were many girls like Hua Xia who went to the nightclub to hook up with some rich people who drove luxury cars. Of course, there were many girls who were cheated by the rich people because of this. Su Yun had seen initiative, but he had never seen such initiative. "I can give you a reason to buy me a drink." Fujiwara Kanna still maintained her charming smile. With this angelic smile, I'm afraid that 99% of men will be infatuated with this and immediately agree to the other party's request. The remaining 1% who didn't agree must be because they were shy and couldn't afford a drink. Soo-yoon understood that this girl was definitely not an ordinary person. "Who are you?" Soo-yoon asked. Fujiwara Kanna smiled and walked directly into the nightclub. Soo-yoon looked at the location transmitted by his mobile phone and followed Fujiwara Kanna in without thinking much. At this time, the nightclub often began to warm up. Generally, it wouldn't be until after 10 o'clock that the nightclub would be completely lively. Several girls in the venue were dancing hard on the round lever stage to warm up the scene, and people who were ready to enjoy the nightlife also ordered drinks. "Yamazaki whiskey, thank you." After Fujiwara Kanna found a place to sit down, Soo-yoon followed and sat beside her. She didn't ask Soo-yoon for any opinion and directly ordered the drink. Soo-yoon was slightly startled. In Hwasea's nightclubs, the most popular were generally Jack Denny's, Chivas Regal, and Macallan. Almost no one would drink whiskey produced in Japan. And Yamazaki whiskey was a representative of Japanese whiskey. The drinks were quickly served. Fujiwara Kanna poured a glass for Soo-yoon and a glass for herself. "Come on, let's have a drink." "You said you would give me a reason to buy you a drink. Now that the drink is here, can you tell me your reason?" Soo-yoon said. Fujiwara Kanna smiled slightly and took out the GPS device that Yumaren had been wearing on her wrist from her pocket. Soo-yoon took a deep breath. He knew that this matter wasn't that simple. This woman's purpose was very straightforward. She knew why he was here. And she directly ordered a bottle of whiskey produced in Japan, which also meant that she was Japanese. "Where is she?" Soo-yoon's face was cold. "You'd better cooperate with me, or else. Don't threaten me." Fujiwara Kanna said, "I believe that you have the ability to kill me on the spot, but now that misused GPS device is in my hands, other than me, you won't have any other way to know misuse whereabouts, so you won't do that. Am I right?" Soo-yoon was stunned by the other party's words. She was very smart and knew very well where her advantage was, and also knew very well what Soo-yoon was worried and afraid of. "If you don't say anything, I'll take it that I'm right," Fujiwara Kanna said, "so you'd better buy me a drink sincerely." Soo-yoon picked up the glass. Although Yamazaki whiskey was said to be the best whiskey in the world, Soo-yoon had never ordered this kind of whiskey. "Thank you for your hospitality." Fujiwara Kanna smiled and drank the wine in the glass. Soo-yoon did not hesitate and directly drank the wine in one gulp. Chapter 2407. I wonder if Mr. Soo-yoon knows anything about Japanese whiskey? Fujiwara Kanna asked with a smile. After a moment of silence, Soo-yoon raised his head and said, "You should know that I'm not in the mood to talk about this with you right now. Let's get straight to the point." Fujiwara Kanna smiled slightly. "Why do you men like to get straight to the point? It's as if we're in bed. What do you want to say to me? What's your purpose in luring me here?" Soo-yoon ignored Fujiwara Kanna's seductive gaze. "I want to say that it's better to have some foreplay and flirting before bed than to get straight to the point," Fujiwara Kanna said. "I wonder if Mr. Soo-yoon thinks so too? If it weren't for the fact that all information about Yumaren was in the hands of this woman, Soo-yoon wouldn't have continued to listen to her waste time here. Ever since Kaneda Tekawawa and the rest of the Sakura group committed suicide after being caught, the Japanese were highly retarded. Therefore, Soo-yoon didn't dare to act rashly. Since the other party wanted to see him, it meant that there were conditions. Soo-yoon wanted to see what their conditions were. Based on Mr. Soo-yoon's attitude towards this matter, I believe that Mr. Soo-yoon must be a person who likes to get straight to the point in bed," Fujiwara Kanna said. Soo-yoon glanced at her. "What do we talk about now have to do with this matter? What does it have to do with Japanese whiskey? Oh, by the way, we're talking about Japanese whiskey now." Fujiwara Kanna still avoided the topic. She did everything according to Fujiwara Kanna's instructions. She had to wear down Soo-yoon's patience as much as possible. When Soo-yoon's patience was completely worn down, he would lose his cool. Losing his cool would affect a person's judgment. Many things were interconnected, so things had to be done step by step and couldn't be rushed. Kanna Fujiwara also cherished this opportunity. She also wanted to prove her ability. Now that Kaneda Takewa was dead, his team lacked a leader. If this mission could be completed perfectly, then she would have a chance to compete for the position. I don't understand Japanese whiskey, and I don't want to understand it, Su-yun said. But Fujiwara Kanna ignored Su-yun's words and continued, the brewing of Japanese whiskey is thanks to Nioi Nabujiro and Taketsuru Masataka. Nabujiro Tori built the first whiskey distillery in Japan, the Yamazaki Distillery. That has nothing to do with me. That's your Japanese history. Su-yun, among us Hua-xia people, real drinkers prefer to drink our Hua-xia liquor. Did you know that in order to have more of the aroma of wheat, the wheat will remain in the wort, or some distilleries will deliberately put the solids of the wheat in the wort, Fujiwara Kanna said. Japan, on the other hand, uses the wort that is as clean as crystal. Therefore, Japanese whiskey is cleaner and has more of a fruity and sweet taste. It doesn't have the smell of wheat left behind like Scotch whiskey. It's more in line with the taste of us Asians. Su-yun knew that she was talking about so many unimportant topics just to numb him and wear down his patience. The more it was like this, the more Su-yun had to maintain his calm and not be used by the other party. The specialty of whiskey is that it's matured. The barrel gives the whiskey a different flavor. Fujiwara Kanna continued to wear down Su-yun's patience. Among them, the Japanese barrel is the proudest barrel for us Japanese people. It uses the unique tree species of Hokkaido to introduce a rich aroma into the Japanese whiskey. It also makes you feel like you're in a Japanese shrine. The taste is melancholy, has a charming and elegant fruity aroma, and a long aftertaste. Perhaps only Japanese people would take pride in being in a Japanese shrine, right? If Su-yun felt like he was in a so-called shitty shrine, Su-yun would definitely be furious and burn down the shrine that worshipped evil spirits. My patience is limited, and so is my tolerance. Su-yun said, I know why you're doing this. If you want to wear down my patience, there has to be a limit. If I really don't have any patience, I'm afraid it won't be the result you want. Fujiwara Kanna smiled slightly. Is that so? Su-yun didn't say anything. His eyes were fixed on Fujiwara Kanna. Well then, let me see how much patience you have. Fujiwara Kanna wasn't nervous because of Su-yun's words. On the contrary, Su-yun's words made her feel that Su-yun was still patient. She hadn't succeeded yet and still lacked some maturity. Since that was the case, she should continue to test him. If Su-yun had really lost his patience, he would definitely do something irrational. If Mr. Su-yun has really lost his patience, then we can leave. Fujiwara Kanna said. Then please. Su-yun was about to get up. Wait a minute. Fujiwara Kanna said. Su-yun frowned and looked at Fujiwara Kanna. His impatience were deliberately shown. Fujiwara Kanna pointed to the Yamazaki whiskey that hadn't been drunk much and said, Wouldn't it be a pity if such a good wine is wasted like this? If you think it's a pity, you can pack it up and take it away. Su-yun said, You can even take it back to Japan. Once the bottle is opened, it should be drunk as soon as possible. Otherwise, the fragrance of the wine will become less and less. Fujiwara Kanna said, Mr. Su-yun, I think it's not too late for us to leave after finishing this bottle of wine. Su-yun looked at the bottle of wine and said, After drinking it, you'll take me to see the person I want to see? That's right. Fujiwara Kanna nodded. After drinking it, I'll take you there, I promise. Whiskey was a strong alcohol. If one could drink the whole bottle in a short period of time, even a person with a high alcohol tolerance would feel physically and mentally uncomfortable. Okay. Su-yun said, I hope you mean what you say. Fujiwara Kanna promised, Since I said it, I will definitely do it. Mr. Su-yun, you don't want to drink the whole bottle alone, do you? Su-yun knew that Fujiwara Kanna was provoking him. Her goal was to make Su-yun drink the whole bottle. Unfortunately, she was too naive. She didn't know that there was a kind of person in the world who had been trained to have no reaction to alcohol. If you're willing. Su-yun said. Fujiwara Konna saw Su-yun's confident look and suddenly felt a little worried. Wait a minute. It looks like you're going back on your word. Su-yun said. No, of course I won't go back on my word. I just want Mr. Su-yun to have a good taste of Japanese whiskey. Fujiwara Konna said, only by comparison can you feel the difference between Japanese whiskey. So, I think Mr. Su-yun should drink some other whiskey before drinking this bottle. Su-yun sneered in his heart. This woman really didn't know when to stop. Okay. Then what do you think I should drink? Fujiwara Konna immediately ordered a bottle of Scottish Maisway whiskey. This was a 60-proof whiskey. This woman was really ruthless. She was prepared to take down Su-yun with just one bottle. Mr. Su-yun, Maisway whiskey is also a very good wine, but I don't really like its taste, so I'll invite Mr. Su-yun to taste it. Fujiwara Konna smiled slightly and looked at Su-yun. Su-yun said expressionlessly, 2 bottles of wine. After drinking them, take me to meet the person. No problem. Fujiwara Konna picked up the Yamazaki whiskey and poured herself a little more. I'll accompany you. Thank you. Su-yun picked up the whole bottle of Maisway and poured it into his mouth. This drinking posture would definitely scare the average person to death. Fujiwara Konna sneered in her heart. She had never seen anyone who didn't get drunk when drinking like this. Soon, Su-yun drank the whole bottle, then picked up the other bottle of Yamazaki whiskey and continued to pour it into his mouth without saying a word. Even if he drank mineral water, he wouldn't drink it like this. When Su-yun put the empty bottle on the table, he sat down heavily in his seat. His breathing became heavy, his eyes blurred for a while, and he forced himself to get up again. Can we go now? Mr. Su-yun, you don't look too good. Do you need to rest? Fujiwara Konna couldn't help but smile proudly. Su-yun waved his hand. No need, this little bit of wine is nothing at all. The more Su-yun said this, the prouder Fujiwara Konna became. She heard that the Huaxia people had a habit. The more drunk a person was, the more they said they could still drink. Those who claimed that they were drunk were usually not the problem. Now, Su-yun belonged to the first category. Chapter 2408. Since Mr. Su-yun's alcohol tolerance is so good, why don't we open another bottle? Do you want something stronger? Fujiwara Konna smiled slightly. I can still accompany you. Tequila. Su-yun, since you want to drink happily, then I'll drink with you to the end. Fujiwara Konna smiled. Mr. Su-yun, I think we shouldn't drink. If we really drink too much, how can we deal with business? Just this little bit of alcohol, your Japanese alcohol is nothing to us Huaxia men. Su-yun snorted. Come, let's continue drinking. Fujiwara Konna saw Su-yun like this and already had her answer in her heart. No one could withstand 2 bottles of strong alcohol. Su-yun's central nervous system had been stimulated by alcohol, which made him a little speechless. I can see that Mr. Su-yun is indeed not drunk after 1,000 glasses, but if Mr. Su-yun still wants to continue drinking, then we might as well change places. Fujiwara Konna stood up. Now, as long as Su-yun was exposed to a cool breeze, the alcohol would stimulate his brain even more, and he would be drunk immediately. Okay, we'll drink wherever you want. Su-yun, take out all the alcohol of the highest alcohol content you can. Fujiwara Konna's face showed a contemptuous smile. She really despised Kaneda Tekawawa, the guy who had always been arrogant in the Sakura group, who thought that his swordsmanship and leadership were first class, actually fell in Huaxia. Huaxia people were not that difficult to deal with at all. Just by looking at this, it could be seen that with just a few glasses of alcohol, it was as easy as flipping one's hand. Fujiwara Konna directly supported Su-yun and left. Su-yun staggered with Fujiwara Konna's support, and he kept saying, I'm not drunk, I can walk on my own, I don't need anyone to help me. Konna Fujiwara sneered. Things were already like this, yet they were still so stubborn. Many people in the nightclub were very surprised. There were people who drank too much so quickly, and it was a woman who carried a man out. Was this woman also here to pick up the corpse? Oh, I've really seen something rare today. If this was true, then they were all willing to be the drunkard. After coming out, Su-yun pushed Kana Fujiwara away, took out his car keys, and staggered to the parking space, shouting, "Where are we going?" "I'll drive you there." Back to the hotel. Fujiwara Kanna said, "It's just that we've all been drinking, and you're already so drunk. It's better if you don't drive." "I'm not drunk," Su-yun said. "It's okay." Fujiwara Kanna said, "Then aren't you afraid that the traffic police will check you? Drunk driving is not a small matter. Perhaps there are many people in Huaxia who have such wishful thinking, but in Japan, no one will drink and drive." Su-yun snorted. "I don't believe it. Japan's punishment for drunk driving is quite harsh. For the drunk driver, the offender will be sentenced to up to 5 years in prison or a fine of 1 million yen. At the same time, there are also crimes such as providing a vehicle, providing alcohol, and being an accomplice. Anyone who provides a vehicle and alcohol to a drunk driver, as well as the passengers in the vehicle, will be severely punished." Fujiwara Kanna seemed to be very proud of this. Speaking of which, this was indeed a kind of pride. This was the importance a country's citizens placed on public safety. Su-yun was actually very clear about this, and was also very opposed to drunk driving. Of course, people like them who had undergone alcohol immunization training could not be counted, because their immune system would immediately discharge alcohol through their pores. Therefore, although they reeked of alcohol, there was no alcohol in their bodies. Su-yun was very good at controlling this. He had done a test. After drinking 2 bottles of 68 proof white wine, he only needed a little more than a minute to clean up the alcohol in his body. Blowing air or drawing blood would not be able to test the alcohol content in his body. However, there would be a very strong smell of alcohol on his body, as if he had drunk a lot of alcohol for a long time. Our Huaxia is not that strict. We don't check drunk driving every day. The traffic police are so busy. How can they have the time to check drunk driving every day? Su-yun shook his head in disdain. Isn't this the job of the traffic police? If they don't do this job, what are they busy with? Fujiwara Kanna said, "Don't find excuses for dereliction of duty. In a country like Huaxia, where drunk driving is serious, the traffic police should check every day. That way, no one will be like you and have a wishful thinking." Disregarding prejudice, Fujiwara Kanna's words were very reasonable. Su-yun staggered to the side of the car, but Fujiwara Kanna stepped forward and took the keys in Su-yun's hand. "You drank too much. Even if you dare to drive, I don't dare to sit in it. Let me do it. I thought you Dongying people followed the traffic laws. Didn't you drink too?" Su-yun said disdainfully. Fujiwara Kanna said, "I drank, but I didn't drink to the point of being as drunk as you. I still have the ability to judge. If something happens, I can guarantee your and my safety. Besides, this is Huaxia. Even if they find me, so what? I'm not from Huaxia. Although you can guarantee your and my safety, you can't guarantee the safety of pedestrians." Su-yun said. Fujiwara Kanna gave Su-yun a rather contemptuous look. "The safety of pedestrians? I will drive according to the traffic rules. I also believe that there is no country where pedestrians don't follow the traffic rules. If there is, it will be you Huaxia people. If I get into an accident, it must be someone from Huaxia who doesn't follow the traffic rules, or someone who scams. Am I right?" Scamming. Hee. I'm afraid this is also a characteristic of you Huaxia people. Su-yun was stunned and was speechless. Truly changing the quality of the people and making foreigners look up to Huaxia people was not something that could be done by the efforts of 1 or 2 people. It was also not something that could be done by the country's wealth and the people's strength. There was a kind of contempt that came from the bottom of his heart. There was indeed a kind of compatriot who always smeared the face of the motherland. There were some things that had to be admitted. Su-yun didn't deny it. There were indeed people who didn't even have eyes when crossing the road. People who treated the rules as child's play and treated life as child's play were destined to be losers forever. People who often drove would never run a red light, let alone be stupid enough to scam, because they knew the danger. Then you drive. Su-yun gave the driver's seat to Fujiwara Kanna. He was actually a little ashamed now. He really couldn't afford to lose face caused by some people in society. It seems that my words have made you feel ashamed for your countrymen. Fujiwara Kanna said, "We Japanese are much more polite than you Huaxia people, and our quality is also much higher. There is no doubt about this. I don't deny that there are indeed some people with extremely low quality in Huaxia, but definitely not all of them. Just like how you Japanese are definitely not all good people, there are also people who run red lights and drunk drivers. Otherwise, there wouldn't be drunk driving laws. Su-yun, it's just that we Huaxia have a large population. You Japanese only have a population of more than 100 million people, and we Huaxia have 1.4 billion. Fujiwara Kanna was slightly stunned and opened the car door. So what? 1 out of 10 people in Huaxia is a rat with no quality. There are 140 million such people in 1.4 billion. You Japanese would only pay 10 million. Su-yun, you only see that the 140 million people with no quality are more than the entire population of Japan, but you don't know that there are more than 1 billion people in Huaxia who are not that kind of rat. Fujiwara Kanna was actually speechless by Su-yun's refutation. Su-yun still wanted to say something, but he felt that he shouldn't say too much. After all, he was now a person who had drunk too much. He shouldn't appear too quick-witted. If he was too quick-witted, it would make Fujiwara Kanna suspicious. Su-yun directly got into the car, then closed his eyes as if he had drunk too much, and panted heavily. Su-yun vividly displayed any drunkard's ugly behavior, making Fujiwara Kanna feel that it was very realistic. Along the way, Su-yun pretended to vomit many times and stuck his head out of the window to retch. The more he acted like this, the happier Fujiwara Kanna was. The more a drunk person was blown by the cold wind, the more uncomfortable it was. The more uncomfortable it was, the worse his mental state was. Driving to the hotel like this, Su-yun might just be wasted. Fujiwara Kanna felt that her mission was too simple. She just had to kidnap Su-yun, then make a video call to the team leader to coerce Umarin. Chapter 2409. In this way, Su-yun was taken all the way back to the hotel he checked today. The lobby manager and the hotel front desk had already changed shifts, so no one recognized Su-yun. Su-yun walked into the elevator with the help of Fujiwara Kanna, and then went all the way to the door of the room where they were. When he walked into the room, Su-yun hesitated for a moment. He checked the room today, but the woman beside him was not in the room at all. When they opened the door, it was a woman who was completely naked. The woman only draped a bath towel on herself after opening the door for them. She said that she had just taken a shower and wanted to ask them what they needed to check. When the leaders of the 2 police stations saw such a woman, they did not dare to go in for a routine check. It was hard to say what kind of man would be behind such a coquettish woman. If she really came out with some big leader and they went in and bumped into her, their future career would be over. Su-yun was not interested in this kind of thing. He came to find someone, not to check if there was a relationship between a man and a woman, so he turned his head and left. He did not want to enter the room and see a big-bellied leader or a big boss who reeked of money and relied on underhanded means to make money. Other than these 2 types of people, no one would be willing to keep such a woman, right? Those female celebrities who sold hundreds of thousands of yuan a night probably did not have the temperament of this woman. This was really the unique charm of Japanese women. For some reason, Japanese women had an impulse to love them. Because they were perhaps the women who understood men's hearts the best. Not only were they gentle, but they were also obedient and knew how to serve men. Therefore, they were born with a different temperament. Su-yun regretted his decision this afternoon. Maybe if he really went into the room and looked carefully, he would have found Umarin. Damn it. Su-yun tried to keep himself calm. After Fujiwara Kanna opened the door, Su-yun entered the room and sat crookedly on the bed, gasping, "What are you doing in the hotel? Aren't you going to continue drinking? Is there wine here?" "There's something better than wine here." Konna Fujiwara smiled. Do you want to try it? Su-yun knew the woman's goal. Did you bring me here to invite me to a drink or to meet someone? How come I don't see any of that? Am I not enough for you? As Konna Fujiwara spoke, she suddenly pulled her clothes down to her shoulders, exposing her shoulders and swaying them in front of Su-yun. When men drank too much, they often couldn't control their impulses. If Fujiwara Konna wanted to easily deal with Su-yun, this was her simplest weapon. As long as she made Su-yun comfortable, she could control him with one move when he was least vigilant. They hadn't seen Su-yun's true strength, but they didn't dare to jump to conclusions since even Kaneda Taikawa had been defeated. Therefore, they had to be careful. It would be best if he could use his physical advantage to solve the problem. Su-yun smiled. It seems that you Japanese women are very open-minded. No, actually, we Japanese girls are very conservative. On the contrary, you Huaxia girls are more open-minded. It's said that every time Apple releases a new phone, many girls will go to bed with men for an iPhone. Konna Fujiwara said, we Japanese girls won't do that. But you Japanese girls will go to bed for a little money. You'll go and film sex movies. Su-yun. Konna Fujiwara smiled. Actually, you Huaxia girls have filmed a lot. It's just that it's not legal in Huaxia and can't be released. If it's legal, you'll definitely have more than us Japanese. It's still the same thing. We Huaxia have a large population and a large base. If 1 in 10 of us is that kind of person, we have more women than all of Japan. Su-yun said, there's no way to talk about this. Konna Fujiwara said, then do you want to film a movie with me? We can keep it as a souvenir. Then it seems that you're also very experienced in filming. Su-yun snorted. I've never been on the screen. I just think that Mr. Su-yun is very special, so I'm very interested. Konna Fujiwara said. Su-yun looked at Konna Fujiwara with a smile. I'm nothing special. My size is normal, my orientation is normal, and my mentality is normal, so there's no need for you to be interested in me, right? Then, Mr. Su-yun, are you interested in me? Konna Fujiwara said as she straddled Su-yun's body. Su-yun also looked at Konna Fujiwara with interest. You're really proactive, but I like proactive women. As he spoke, Su-yun's hands began to move down Konna Fujiwara's waist. Konna Fujiwara was proud in her heart. When a man couldn't control her, it showed how charming she was in the man's heart. In the Sakura group, a woman's charm often determined her status. Konna Fujiwara's status was not as high as Misa Fukada's. It was not only a matter of time before she joined the Sakura group, nor was it a matter of her own strength and the gap between Misa Fukada and her own charm. Because the Misa Fukada that Konna Fujiwara knew had never been unable to handle a man. Even a male chauvinist like Kaneda Taikawa could only talk about it. In front of Misa Fukada, he would never say anything bad about her. If Misa Fukada really hooked her finger, Kaneda Taikawa would definitely be the kind of man who couldn't control himself. In front of Misa Fukada, there was never a man who could escape from her palm. The reason why Konna Fujiwara worshipped Misa Fukada and was willing to do things by her side was that she wanted to learn all her skills. Facing Su-yun now was the best time for her to practice, because the feeling that this man exuded was not someone who could be seduced so easily. So this was a challenge for Konna Fujiwara. Are you comfortable? Don't you enjoy this? Konna Fujiwara swayed her waist rhythmically on Su-yun's body. Today, she was going to conquer this man, conquer him with her body. Su-yun smiled slightly. Do you know that it's very dangerous for you to be like this? Of course I know, but I just like this kind of danger and excitement. What should I do? Konna Fujiwara said, if I want it, can you satisfy me? Of course I can satisfy you. It seems that the men in Japan can only live in those kinds of movies. There are no real men in reality. Su-yun said, they can't even satisfy the women in their own country. What a bunch of useless trash. Konna Fujiwara smiled slightly. Then you have to prove to me that you're definitely not that kind of trash. Of course I'm not. Su-yun said as he directly turned Konna Fujiwara over and pressed her under his body. At this moment, a thin and short syringe appeared in Konna Fujiwara's hand, and she suddenly injected it into the back of Su-yun's neck. It was safer to use this kind of injection to ensure that the other party would be unconscious. For a man who had not figured out his strength, Konna Fujiwara decided to choose a safer way. Su-yun was pricked by the needle on the back of his neck and felt a tingling pain all over his body. He twitched a few times, reached out and touched the numb and painful place on the back of his neck, and then realized that something was wrong with him. What did you do to me? Konna Fujiwara removed Su-yun's hand from her chest and pushed Su-yun to the ground. Before I came to Huaxia, the organization repeatedly emphasized to me how powerful you are and how you can't be underestimated. Now I realize that I really overestimated you. I actually let you take advantage of me so much. Su-yun shook his head vigorously. Why am I seeing things blurry? What exactly did you inject into me? Don't worry, you won't die. That thing will only let you lie comfortably on the bed and have a good sleep. It won't bring you any harm. Konna Fujiwara said, I won't kill you because you're still useful to us. The person we're looking for is not only you, Maren, but also Matthew. Su-yun's eyes were starting to be unable to open. He tried his best to keep his eyes open and stay awake, but in the end, he still couldn't do it. His vision became more and more blurry, and finally he closed his eyes. Chapter 24:10. Fujiwara Konna looked at Su-yun, who was lying unconscious on the ground. She got up and tidied up her clothes. She spat out 2 words in disdain, trash. She really didn't want to face such an opponent. This kind of opponent was worthless in her eyes. Until now, Fujiwara Konna still couldn't believe that Kaneda Tekawawa, who had always thought so highly of himself, would actually be defeated by this person. It seemed that Kaneda Tekawawa really didn't have any real skills at all. How could someone with real skills be defeated by someone as weak as Su-yun? Su-yun had completely lost consciousness. His whole body was half leaning against the corner of the wall, and he didn't react at all. She really didn't know how this kind of person entered Huaxia's special forces. Fujiwara Konna now had no feelings for the special forces that the organization said were so powerful. Because their investigation also said that this Su-yun was some kind of captain. If the captain was like this, then wouldn't the other members be even more useless? This was like some units and institutions. The leaders were so greedy that they couldn't stop. How could the subordinates be honest? So, this person was a coward. It could be seen from this captain that there was really nothing to be afraid of in Huaxia's special forces. It was all just bragging. Fujiwara Konna didn't even look at Su-yun lying on the ground. She directly found her phone and quickly dialed a special number that she had memorized by heart. She wanted to contact Misa Fukada and ask her about the next step of the plan. However, just as she was about to press the dial button, the phone was directly snatched away by a black shadow. Fujiwara Konna was shocked. Su-yun, who was still unconscious in front of her a second ago, actually snatched her phone and stood in front of her at this moment. Thank you for letting me sleep so comfortably, and for working so hard to make me comfortable. Su-yun, it's a pity that someone of your level. Sasuke, I really don't like you, so I really don't have any interest in you. Impossible, absolutely impossible. Fujiwara Konna stared at Su-yun with her eyes wide open. She had clearly injected him with an unconscious syringe. This kind of syringe could make an elephant sleep for an entire day even if it was injected into it. What's more, Su-yun had drunk so much wine. However, Su-yun was now a completely normal person. Not only was he not someone who had been drugged, he didn't even look like a drunk person at all. What did he do? Why are you not related? Fujiwara Konna looked at Su-yun blankly. You can't have nothing to do with it. You shouldn't have nothing to do with it. What do you mean? Did you give me alcohol, or did you inject me with something? Su-yun grinned. You guys are really bad. Do you know that injecting that kind of coma injection is very harmful to the human body? Unfortunately, I've been trained, so I'm immune. Konna Fujiwara shook her head in despair. Even the stun injection was immune. Was he still human? If you're talking about drinking, then there's no need to explain. Su-yun, I've told you many times, I'm not drunk. I can continue to drink. If I drink a little more, I won't feel anything at all. It's not that I can drink, it's just that my body is already immune to alcohol, understand? Fujiwara Kanna was really going crazy. How was this possible? I don't know if you've heard of the Six-Pulse legendary sword? Su-yun said with a smile. At the end of the Northern Song dynasty, there was a second-generation official named Duan Yu who drank with a gangster named Chao Feng. However, this second-generation official couldn't drink. After drinking 3 bowls, he couldn't take it anymore. It was so disgusting that he felt like vomiting and his internal organs were about to flip over. Previously, Fujiwara Kanna had constantly used words to stimulate Su-yun's patience. Now, of course, Su-yun wanted to give her a taste of her own medicine and let her have a taste of her own medicine. Guess what happened? This second-generation official's dantian suddenly moved, and a wave of true energy rushed up. He only felt that his body was stirring up at this moment. His grandfather and father were both experts and taught him some internal strength. He immediately absorbed the true energy into his Dazui acupoint. Su-yun's words were vivid. He let the true energy go from the Chenzong acupoint to the Zhenjin acupoint, then through the Shaohai acupoint on his left arm, the Zhijing acupoint, and the Yonggu acupoint on his palm, and poured out from the Shaozi acupoint on his little finger. This forced the alcohol out. Fujiwara Kanna didn't hear what Su-yun was talking about at all. She was just surprised that all of this was happening. It didn't make sense. This is the Shaozi sword of the Six-Pulse legendary sword. Su-yun shook his head and said enviously, "It's a pity that I don't know how to do it. I can only expel the alcohol through the pores of my body. If I knew that move, I wouldn't be covered in the smell of alcohol." Fujiwara Kanna suddenly screamed and attacked Su-yun with both hands. She couldn't accept such a failure. Never. However, Su-yun was already prepared. He blocked with a backhand and directly blocked Fujiwara Kanna's move. Then, he grabbed Fujiwara Kanna's right wrist. Fujiwara Kanna raised her leg and attacked Su-yun's vital point. Su-yun quickly grabbed Fujiwara Kanna's ankle with his other hand and directly flipped her over onto the bed. Fujiwara Kanna struggled twice, but she couldn't break free from Su-yun's control. Her clothes and hair were in a mess. In the end, she could only give up resisting. "You're ruthless. If you weren't a woman, I would definitely give you a kick and end your family line," Su-yun said. "What do you want?" Fujiwara Kanna glared at Su-yun and said angrily. Su-yun exerted force in his hand and said, "I should be the one asking you that, right?" "Oh, right, I shouldn't ask you. There's no point in asking you. It's better to ask the person you're reporting to. It's more direct that way." Without waiting for Fujiwara Kanna to react, Su-yun suddenly pulled up the bedsheet on the bed. He first wrapped it around Fujiwara Kanna's hand, then wrapped it around her calf and knee. Even though Fujiwara Kanna kept struggling, she was still tied up by Su-yun in a special way. "Don't waste your strength. I'm wrapping every knot around the joints. You can't use any strength at all." Su-yun smiled. "If you want to break this bedsheet, it's not impossible, but the premise is that you have to break your bones and joints first before you can break the bedsheet." Every time Fujiwara Kanna exerted force, she would feel a tearing pain in her joints. Su-yun's method of binding was really strange. I think if a person's joint is broken, even tearing apart a piece of paper will be difficult, much less trying to get rid of the bedsheet. Su-yun said, "It's best if you don't waste your energy." "There's no point in you catching me," Fujiwara Kanna said. Su-yun nodded. "I know. There's no point in catching you. Because you're a member of the Sakura group, right? Your Sakura group members are really retarded. A few days ago, what's that called again? Kaneda take Taro? Or Samokawa? He's got guts. He immediately committed seppuku after being caught." Fujiwara Kanna clenched her teeth tightly. It seemed that their guesses were right. Kaneda Taketaro was indeed completely wiped out. So, I won't do anything to you. You can choose whether you want to die or not. If you want to take poison, then take poison. If you want to bite your tongue, then bite your tongue. Do whatever you want. Su-yun said, as long as you want to die, there must be a way. Anyway, I already have the phone number I want. Fujiwara Konna finally understood why Su-yun had to disguise himself. After he came to the hotel room, he had already determined that there was someone behind her. So, Su-yun had to wait for an opportunity. He had to wait for an opportunity when she would reveal herself. If Su-yun had directly controlled her before, she definitely wouldn't have given out Misa Fukada's contact information. They were the same type of people. They all knew that their phones wouldn't store any contacts. They would only remember the number by heart and delete the record after every contact. This was to prevent their contact information from being leaked. Su-yun knew this type of people too well. That was why he could explore everything so clearly. With this number, you're meaningless to me. Su-yun smiled. However, maybe your immediate superior will think highly of you and be willing to exchange someone for you. Stop daydreaming. Fujiwara Konna said. It's already past 10 o'clock at night. Su-yun said, it's normal to dream at night. Fujiwara Konna said angrily, you can't get the person you want. I'm not the bargaining chip you need at all. Then you can kill yourself. Su-yun said, I have no objections. I'm going to make a call now. You'd better be quiet. Su-yun picked up the phone that he had just thrown on the bed and pressed the dial button. Your organization is stingy. You're still using a 10-year-old Nokia. Not bad. Chapter 24:11. Konna Fujiwara's mood was gloomy at the moment. She did think of committing suicide. After all, she had failed the mission. For the Sakura group, people who failed the mission had lost their meaning. However, Konna Fujiwara was unwilling to give up. This was such a good opportunity. She could have gotten a good chance to be valued, but now everything was over. No, she couldn't just admit defeat like this. She had to find a chance to redeem herself, a chance to establish herself. She couldn't just give up like this. Su-yun dialed the number. Naturally, it was Misa Fukada's. As part of their two-person special team, Misa Fukada had made a military pledge. If she couldn't get the secrets of Arbola, she wouldn't go back. Unless she died in Huaxia, she would get all the secrets about Arbola. Misa Fukada had no doubt that Konna Fujiwara could deal with Su-yun. When she heard Su-yun answer the phone, she was completely stunned. Your person is in my hands now. Although I know you don't care about her life, I still think we need to talk, Su-yun said lightly. Misa Fukada took a deep breath. The other party was not so easy to deal with. No wonder Kaneda Taketaro lost so badly. The advantage that she had already gained was also gone at this moment. However, as Su-yun said, Misa Fukada didn't need to care about Konna Fujiwara's life. In that case, I think you should know who we are, Misa Fukada said lightly. You must have your reasons for calling. Speak. Do I need to say it? Of course I want my person. Su-yun could hear the other party's calm attitude. Obviously, she wasn't an easy woman to deal with. Misa Fukada snorted. Okay, then bring my person to me. She knows where I am. I'm warning you. If you dare to touch a hair on her head, I will tear you to pieces, Su-yun said. I hate being threatened the most. Misa Fukada said, I can also tell you clearly that if you don't want me to hurt your people, don't force me to do anything. Otherwise, I can do anything. Su-yun didn't talk nonsense with her anymore. He hung up the phone and pulled away the sheets that tied Konna Fujiwara's hands and feet. You heard the phone call. Konna Fujiwara knew that with Yumaren in their hands, they still had a chance. Since they couldn't use Su-yun to threaten Yumaren, they could only use Yumaren to coerce Su-yun into cooperating with them. Since Su-yun did not dare to act rashly, Fujiwara Konna did not need to say any more nonsense. She got up and prepared to leave. Under the leadership of Konna Fujiwara, they soon arrived at their destination. After Su Yun stopped the car, a car not far away flashed its headlights a few times. Su Yun got out of the car and ignored Konna Fujiwara. He didn't care about the bargaining chip in his hand. The reason was that this bargaining chip was not enough to exchange for Yu Meiren. Soon, Yu Meiren came out of the opposite car under the leadership of Misa Fukada. Yu Meiren's hands were tied behind her back and her mouth was taped. She couldn't speak at all. She just kept shaking her head, as if she wanted to express something to Su Yun. Say it. What are your conditions? Su Yun said, if you want Arbola's weapon, I can only tell you that I'm sorry, it's gone. As expected of a member of Hua Xia's special forces. You're both smart and brave. Misa Fukada said, although Arbola has been destroyed, you still have what we want. We can talk first. There's no need to fight as soon as we meet. Su Yun nodded. Let's talk. You can ask for anything, as long as you cooperate with me. Misa Fukada said, I can give you everything you want, whether it's money or status. I can even let you win the heart of a beauty. Why don't you do it? Su Yun's lips curled up slightly. What are the bargaining chips you can give me? You probably don't earn much every year in Hua Xia's special forces, right? 500,000? $1 million? Misa Fukada said, as far as I know, it shouldn't be that much. Aha. Su Yun nodded. Our salary isn't high. Misa Fukada said, if you're willing, you can come with me to Dongying and join the Sakura group. We can give you Dongying nationality, and you'll be official citizens of the Dongying Empire. I can also give you a considerable amount of money, which you won't be able to earn in Hua Xia for the rest of your life. Also, with your ability, you can be a team leader in the Sakura group. Kaneda Tekawawa has already fallen in your hands. You can directly replace his position. Su Yun shrugged. That's all? Of course, I can also return this woman to you unscathed, Misa Fukada said. The goal of a man's life is nothing more than money, status, and women. I can give you these three things. What else are you not satisfied with? Su Yun shook his head. How much is the so-called huge amount of money you Dongying people are talking about? Name your price, Misa Fukada said. I'm afraid I'll scare you. Su Yun said, you can decide. 100 million. Misa Fukada said, and then added, US dollars. Su Yun patted his chest. You scared me. I thought you were going to say Japanese yen. Japanese yen is more than 5 million yuan, right? Misa Fukada said, how much money can you earn in Hua Xia's special forces? So the 100 million I'm giving you is already a sky-high price. Misa Fukada didn't believe that there would be anyone who wouldn't be tempted by 100 million US dollars. Especially Hua Xia people. How many Hua Xia people could earn 100 million US dollars in their lifetime? 100 million US dollars would always be an unimaginable number for Hua Xia people unless they became a big tiger in a high position. Don't forget, you still have status. Misa Fukada said, if you work for the Sakura group, the benefits you can get every year will be dozens of times higher than what you have now. You can think about my suggestion. Su Yun grinned. If I say that I don't care about the money you give me, will you think I'm pretending? Pretending? Misa Fukada smiled disdainfully. Do you think you need to pretend with me? Who do you think you are? 100 million US dollars is nothing in your eyes. Su Yun shook his head helplessly. It seems that your Sakura group is still relatively weak in terms of intelligence. You don't even know how many identities I have, hee hee. Su Yun was the big boss of the Sky Entertainment Group's entertainment empire. How much could the Sky Entertainment Group earn just by shooting movies and TV series every year? Hua Xia's film and television industry was very profitable now. Sky Entertainment Group invested in a movie to earn hundreds of millions, or even billions at the box office. Even if one were to exclude the remuneration of A-list superstars, the remuneration of famous directors, and the various production costs, it would still be easy to earn an average of 300 to 500 million yuan per movie. Therefore, Sky Entertainment Group didn't need to say much. They could easily make a few billion by investing in 20 to 30 movies a year. Misa Fukada was tempting him with $100 million. It was only $600 million. How could Su Yun be tempted? I don't care who you are. This money is enough for you to do whatever you want, Misa Fukada said proudly. Su Yun pursed his lips. If I want, I can kill you with money. If your Sakura group only has this much capital, then don't talk to me about money. It will hurt your self-esteem. Misa Fukada was stunned. Su Yun didn't even show a trace of interest. Was he really that rich? No, impossible. How could Huaxia people be that rich? Most Huaxia people were poor. This was the Huaxia that Misa Fukada knew. Because in Huaxia, even if you bought an iPhone that cost a few $1,000, you would be seen as pretentious. This meant that Huaxia people were poor. If Huaxia people were really rich, would they still think so? They definitely wouldn't think so. Don't be so hypocritical. I'm telling the truth. I'm not joking with you. It's best to think about it. Misa Fukada said calmly. There's no medicine for regret in this world. If you miss this opportunity, I'm afraid you won't have the chance to make this kind of money in your life. Chapter 24:12. Looks like you Japanese are really poor. You think $100 million is a lot. Su Yun, that's true. Your annual revenue is only about $900 billion, right? You're giving me 1/9,000 of that. How generous. Misa Fukada was slightly startled. So, do you agree or not? A problem that could be solved with money was not a problem at all. Moreover, if they could poach such a talent from Huaxia, the value he could create would be many times more than this amount of money. Su Yun shook his head without even thinking. I don't like her. Then don't blame me for being rude to her. Misa Fukada directly pointed her finger at Yu Meiren. She believed that this woman must be Su Yun's weakness. Su Yun's face instantly darkened. Don't threaten me. I'll let you know the consequences of threatening me. I'll say the same to you. There's no medicine for regret in this world. Su Yun, I can tell you very clearly that since I've come to Huaxia, there are only two choices. The first is to complete the mission, and the second is to die in Huaxia. Misa Fukada said, I'm not afraid of death at all, so you should know very well that I won't die in vain. If she dies with me, she can also send you a lifetime of pain. Su Yun fell silent. He had seen the actions of Kaneda Tekawawa and the others. The people of the Sakura group had been brainwashed into absolute idiots. They didn't care about death at all. Their lives were worthless in their eyes. As long as it was for their beliefs, dying was an honor and pride. Therefore, Su Yun didn't doubt Misa Fukada's words at all. If you want to know everything you want to know, then come at me. I know everything, and it has nothing to do with her. Su Yun, take me to Japan. You'll have a higher chance of knowing everything. Yu Meiren struggled a few times and growled at Su Yun, but her mouth was taped shut and she couldn't say a word. That's a good suggestion. Misa Fukada smiled and said to Fujiwara Kanna, Go, do as Mr. Su Yun says. It might be better for us to tie him up. Kanna Fujiwara immediately went to get handcuffs that were specially used to restrain experts and completely restrained Su Yun's hands and feet. Su Yun stood in place, allowing the other party to cuff his hands and feet behind his back. Are you satisfied now? Su Yun asked. Shouldn't you let her go? Misa Fukada smiled and tore off the tape on Yu Meiren's mouth. Why are you so stupid? They know that I'm the only one who knows the composition and ratio of the Ebola virus. I kidnapped you just to threaten me. Yu Meiren shouted helplessly. Su Yun just smiled. It didn't matter. He would rather suffer any torture than let Yu Meiren be wronged with him. Miss Yu is right. I want to use you to threaten her. Misa Fukada laughed. You're useless. We know in our hearts that you don't know the composition and ratio of the Ebola virus because you're not a researcher in that field. At this time, Kanna Fujiwara had already taken out a pistol and pointed it at Su-yun's temple. Misa Fukada continued, "There are only two people who are useful to us. One is Yu Meiren, and the other is Matthew. Of course, even if we only get Yu Meiren, it's enough." "You're really smart," Su-yun said. "It's just that you miscalculated because she won't say anything. Even if you kill me, you won't get any useful information or value." "Do you really think so?" Misa Fukada said confidently. "Mr. Su, then I can tell you very clearly that women who fall in love are blind. They can do a lot of things that you think they won't do. If you don't believe me, then let's do an experiment, okay? Let's see if Miss Yu is so firm in her beliefs." Su-yun glanced at Yu Meiren, telling her with his eyes that she knew what she should say and what she shouldn't say. Yu Meiren bit her lower lip and shook her head crazily. She didn't want this result. She didn't want to see Su-yun suffer any kind of torture. But she also knew in her heart that she couldn't say anything about those confidential things because she wasn't just a person. These secrets weren't her personal secrets. They belonged to the country, not her. "Let's have a chat. How should we start?" Misa Fukada glanced at Yu Meiren. According to her judgment, perhaps Yu Meiren was a person who could be easily coerced. Yu Meiren had already closed her eyes tightly. Her reaction had already betrayed her. She was afraid, very afraid that Su-yun would be hurt in any way. "Miss Yu, if you keep your eyes closed, I'm afraid you'll miss a lot of exciting scenes." Misa Fukada said, "I can tell you very clearly that we only need you to write a list of the virus ingredients and the ratio, and we'll let you go." Yu Meiren clenched her teeth tightly. "Impossible. I said I won't say a word to you. Then we'll torture Mr. Su-yun bit by bit in front of you." Misa Fukada said, "I promise you'll regret it when the time comes." "No matter what you do, she won't say a word." Su-yun smiled. "Stop dreaming." Misa Fukada sneered. At this time, it was best to use psychological warfare to pressure Yu Meiren psychologically. This kind of pressure would get the best response. She was really worried that once she really did something to Su-yun, Yu Meiren would be able to withstand the psychological defense of the first time. She would grit her teeth and really keep the secret to herself. Therefore, sometimes, psychological pressure and torture were the best way to deal with it. There was an old saying in Huaxia, "If you're not afraid of death, you're afraid of waiting for death." It meant that death was not scary, but waiting for death was the scariest. Misa Fukada used what she learned. She believed that for Yu Meiren, torturing Su-yun was like dying. It was not scary if she could withstand it. However, letting her wait for Su-yun to be tortured like that was the best way to force her. "Miss Yu, Japan has a lot of torture." Misa Fukada said, "I wonder if you're interested in learning about it." "I won't listen to anything you say." "Shut up." Yu Meiren scolded angrily. Misa Fukada smiled slightly and ignored Yu Meiren's anger. Instead, she whispered in her ear, "Japan has a kind of torture called finger cutting. Of course, it's not cutting off, but pulling the fingers one by one. The 10 fingers are connected to the heart. Many people who have been tortured like this can't bear the pain and die before all 10 fingers are pulled off." Yu Meiren trembled. Because her hands were still tied behind her back, she couldn't cover her ears at all. Hearing Misa Fukada's words, Yu Meiren felt a chill from the bottom of her feet. That kind of pain was quite unbearable. "There's also a kind called skinning." Misa Fukada said, "Do you feel disgusted just by hearing it?" Yu Meiren kept shaking her head. She didn't want to listen, but Misa Fukada pressed down on her shoulder and continued in a gloomy voice, "Do you know, thin skin needs to be cut down from the spine. The skin on the back is cut in half, then the skin and muscles are slowly separated with a knife, like a butterfly spreading its wings. Don't say any more." Beauty Yu's mind was tortured and she was already a little hysterical. Don't listen to her nonsense. Su-yun didn't care. "She can't do anything to me. She just wants to torture you mentally. Don't think about what she said." Fujiwara Konna glared at Su-yun fiercely. "Shut up. Little b *tch, I won't shut up. What can you do to me?" Su-yun provoked. He also needed to anger the other party to create an opportunity and buy time for himself. Although Yu Meiren didn't want to listen to their nonsense, she couldn't control herself at all. Not to mention humans, she couldn't even bear such cruel things to small animals. Miss Yu, we still have a lot of torture methods in Japan. If you really don't cooperate, I can use them on Mr. Su Yun bit by bit, Misa Fukada said. I hope you don't challenge my limits. Once I start, I will enjoy the pleasure of torturing people and won't be able to stop at all. You pervert. Yu Meiren scolded angrily. Chapter 24:13. Misa Fukada knew that Yu Meiren had fallen into a state of extreme fear. A little stimulation at this time would definitely make her collapse. Aim the pistol at a person's finger and pull the trigger. The bullet will blow the finger directly to the base of the finger, Misa Fukada said. I think this can be performed live. After Misa Fukada finished speaking, she gave Konna Fujiwara a look. Konna Fujiwara did not hesitate and directly aimed the pistol at Su Yun's finger. Now that Yu Meiren was still under Misa Fukada's control, Su Yun did not dare to act rashly. Besides, his hands and feet were now tied, and there was really nothing he could do for a while. Su Yun smiled bitterly in his heart. Was his reputation going to be ruined by the hands of two women from the Sakura group? Phew, this is fate. You know, the wound caused by the pistol will be very beautiful, like a blood chrysanthemum, Misa Fukada said. I believe Miss Yu would like to see it very much, right? Yu Meiren trembled all over. She did not know what she should do. She did not know what she needed to do now to stop this from happening. She did not want Su Yun to be hurt, and she did not want Arbola's secret to be revealed. What should she do? As a doctor, she knew very well that wounds could be treated and healed, but if it was a destructive injury, it would be an irreparable disability. Don't do that. I beg you, stop, don't do that. Yu Meiren kept shaking her head. Okay, as long as you promise to write me what I want, I'll stop everything immediately, Misa Fukada said. Misa Fukada said, I don't want to hurt you either. The Sakura group treasures talents. Yu Meiren kept muttering. She could not agree to Misa Fukada's request, absolutely not. This was her bottom line, a bottom line that could not be touched. I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it, Misa Fukada said. After 10 seconds, if you still can't make a decision, I'll have to give you a little stimulation. Miss Yu, my patience is limited. I don't have much time to wait for you. Yu Meiren didn't know what to do. Get ready. Fujiwara Konna glared fiercely at Su Yun. She now hated Su Yun to the bone. Because of Su Yun, she was trapped and failed to follow the original plan. Team leader Fukada must be very disappointed with her now. Su Yun said disdainfully, Don't try to scare me with this. What haven't I seen before? If that's all you've got, then come at me. I warn you. I'll break your fingers one by one. Fujiwara Konna wasn't joking. She really hated Su Yun and hated his illness. Su Yun nodded. If I cry out in pain, I'm not a man from Huaxia. I'm also warning you, everything that I've suffered, I'll pay you back double. You don't have the right to threaten me now. Fujiwara Konna sneered. You'd better think about your own problem. Misa Fukada's countdown had already begun. She wanted to destroy Yu Meiren's inner defenses bit by bit, making her feel pain second by second. 10, 9, 8, 7. Misa Fukada enjoyed her countdown. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. When she counted up to this point, Misa Fukada glanced at Fujiwara Konna. Get ready. Fujiwara Konna turned on the safety of her pistol. As long as team leader Fukada gave the order, she would not hesitate to make the man in front of her suffer the pain of being disabled for the rest of his life. At this moment, a sharp sound cut through the night sky. The sound of metal colliding was heard. Fujiwara Konna felt a numbing pain in her hand, and the pistol in her hand fell to the ground. Su Yun knew that the time he had been waiting for had finally come. Lin Gu, that little bastard, was really good at enduring. All of this was actually under Su Yun's control. Su Yun was not a fool. He knew that coming alone meant that he would be trapped. Before he came, he had already turned on his mobile phone's GPS and secretly informed Lin Gu to track him down and secretly monitor everything. At the beginning, Su Yun could not determine how many people there were, nor could he determine what the situation was. Now that they were sure that there were only 2 people, their success rate had greatly increased. As for when to let Lin Gu make his move, Su Yun had already made arrangements. Only when the other party was most relaxed would they have the highest chance of success. After all, Yu Meiren was still in their hands, so they had to choose the best time. This was the second after Misa Fukada made her judgment, and also the moment when her vigilance was the most relaxed. The moment the pistol in Fujiwara Kanna's hand was knocked out by Lin Ji's coin, Su Yun directly lifted his knee. Although Su Yun's hands and feet were controlled, he could still make the fastest judgment and give the other party the most fatal blow. Su Yun's knee hit Fujiwara Kanna's chin heavily. Because Fujiwara Kanna was affected by Lin Gu, she did not have time to react at all. This time, Fujiwara Kanna's chin was directly hit by Su Yun's knee. After a violent shock of pain in her ears, she completely lost consciousness. In this case, Su Yun would not have any thoughts of showing mercy to the fairer sex, nor would he show any mercy. If this was not a fatal blow to Fujiwara Kanna, the other party would definitely shoot without hesitation. Su Yun was not afraid of being shot, but the current situation was so thrilling. Yu Meiren was still in the hands of the other party, so he had to reduce the danger as much as possible. Fortunately, Lin Ji's actions were fast enough, and his sudden appearance did indeed attract Misa Fukada's attention. As a result, Bai Xiaoye and Cho Yun, who had been quietly lurking behind Misa Fukada, immediately stood up and quickly rescued Yu Meiren. In such a chaotic situation, it was impossible for Misa Fukada to take everything into consideration. When she realized that things were out of her control, it had already reached the point of no return. Fujiwara Kanna's life was still unknown after being hit by Su Yun, and she had to face a pincer attack from 3 masters who suddenly appeared. There was no chance of winning at all. Misa Fukada knew that if she stayed and fought recklessly, there would only be one result, and that was failure. For her, failure meant death. She had no other choice. She had to win, she had to win. She could not give up all of this at this time. Of the 36 stratagems, escape was the best stratagem. This was a stratagem in Hua Xiao's art of war. Misa Fukada would not fight force with force today. She knew that there was no way she could win, so there was no point in continuing. She didn't hesitate at all and immediately ran away. No one expected her to do such a thing. After all, her companions were still there. How could she leave just like that? However, this was the reason why she became the leader of a Sakura group. If one wanted to be the leader of a Sakura group, one had to be ruthless. Only people who would not feel guilty even if they lost their companions could be qualified. This was because the Sakura group members believed that this was a kind of ability. If one could not even do this, then they would not be able to do anything. Lin Gu chased after her. Cho Yun said to Bai Xiaoye, "You stay and take care of your brother. I'll go with him." After saying that, she also rushed after them. The 3 of them instantly became a chase. Lin Gu and Cho Yun were not slow. If Misa Fukada had not reacted so quickly and left in time, they would have already taken her down. Bai Xiaoye quickly came to Su Yun's side and quickly searched the unconscious Fujiwara Kanna's body for the key to unlock him. After Su Yun was released, he was a little surprised. "Why are you guys here? I even specifically told Pigeon that the situation here is too dangerous. Let him come by himself." "What if he can't handle it himself?" Bai Xiaoye said, "My brother was kidnapped by the Japanese right under my nose. Do you think I can tolerate this?" Su Yun shrugged. He could not win against Bai Xiaoye anyway. "All right, since everyone is fine now, it's fine. These people are really bold. I didn't expect that they would dare to provoke me." Bai Xiaoye snorted. "Then let's let them know what regret is. Let's not let them return." Chapter 24:14. Although Lin Gu and Cho Yun chased after her with all their might, Misa Fukada still managed to escape in the end. One had to admit that the Sakura Gumi members were very good at escaping. After all, the Sakura Gumi had many experts in ninjutsu, and hiding and escaping were very powerful skills. Although Lin Gu and Cho Yun had fought with the Japanese ninjas, they still couldn't solve the problem so quickly. The two were worried that the other party would trick them, so they gave up the chase. For them, it was already a victory. It was enough that Yu Meiren was saved safely. As for the rest, as long as the Sakura Gumi was still alive, they would teach them a lesson. Lin Gu made up his mind this time. He must let the Sakura Gumi know that they were in trouble, big trouble. Fujiwara Kanna, who was knocked unconscious by Su Yun, was now dead. It wasn't that Su Yun was so ruthless, but the poison in her mouth was broken by Su Yun's knee. Fujiwara Kanna lost control and directly swallowed the poison. This was fate. Originally, Su Yun wanted to leave her a way out and let her see how they failed. Now, someone could only burn paper to tell her. Yu Meiren still couldn't calm her emotions. Her heart was now like a broken seasoning bottle, sour, sweet, bitter, spicy, salty, and all kinds of feelings made her not know how to face her heart. Just now, when Su Yun was in such a dangerous situation, she didn't make a decision to save Su Yun. This made Yu Meiren really unable to forgive herself. It's okay. Everything is over. Su Yun gently supported Yu Meiren. Yu Meiren shook her head and said with self-blame, Su Yun, I'm sorry. Just now, I didn't know what to do. I didn't want them to hurt you. I really didn't want that. But I had no choice. I really didn't know what I should have done was right. You did very well. Su Yun knew the kind of pressure Yu Meiren was under. This kind of pressure was the same for anyone. That's my principle. No, that's just my excuse. Yu Meiren said, what if you were really hurt by them? What should I do? What should I do in the end? Su Yun held Yu Meiren in his arms. What you did was right. We have our principles. No matter what, at any time, in the face of any danger, principles are principles. We can never go against them. Bai Xiaoye also felt sorry for Yu Meiren. Yes, you didn't do anything wrong. If it were me, I would have done the same. No, you won't be like me. You won't watch Su Yun get hurt. Yu Meiren shook her head vigorously. I shouldn't have done that, right? I shouldn't have. It was so dangerous just now. You're a soldier. Su Yun said, you have your duties. If you can't even uphold these principles, how can you live up to the military rank on your shoulders? You're a military doctor. You should understand the responsibility you have to bear. Don't be sad. It's all in the past. Yu Meiren shook her head. She didn't know if she should let go of everything in her heart. At this time, Lin Gu and Cho Yun came back. Lin Gu kicked a stone on the ground unhappily. She got away. We just have to be more careful. Su Yun said, the Japanese are very good at escaping. Don't be so angry. They're the ones who are depressed now. How did these people find this place? Cho Yun said, do the Japanese know so much? How did they find out? Is there a mole in the middle? Lin Gu and Bai Xiaoye also looked at Su Yun. I believe there must be someone who knows so much. Su Yun said calmly, it's Heavenly Eye. Lin Gu was shocked. Brother, are you saying that Heavenly Eye colluded with the Sakura group? No. Su Yun shook his head. To be precise, Heavenly Eye is using the Sakura group to take revenge on us. I don't know why, but I feel that Heavenly Eye knows our route very well. He even knows where the Dragon Brigade's base is, so he can provide accurate information to the Sakura group. We were targeted after the Dragon Brigade came out and were followed all the way to Qingdao. Who is Heavenly Eye? How can he be so capable? Bai Xiaoye said in surprise, why don't I contact my mother and ask her to arrange for someone to investigate this matter? Su Yun waved his hand. There's no need to trouble little mother with such a small matter. You should be able to tell that she wants to withdraw from the underground world and return to a normal life. Why should we let her worry about us juniors? This is not a small matter. Bai Xiaoye said, Brother, are you embarrassed? It's okay, I'll talk to her. No. Su Yun said, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. I just want to see what kind of tricks Heavenly I can play with me. Lin Gu clenched his fists. Yes. Let's see who can't take it in the end. I don't believe that Heavenly I can really become a god. Alright, you guys go back first. I'll take care of things here. Su Yun looked at Fujiwara Konna and said, after all, someone died. I still have to explain to Chief Chen. Lin Gu said, Brother, I'm going to leave tonight. Where are you going? Su Yun was stunned. Why did this kid suddenly say that? To Japan. As you know, my senior brother, CFAIs, is often active in Japan, Lin Gu said. I believe that he knows more about the Sakura group than I do, so I believe that if I go to him, I'll definitely get enough help and support. Su Yun nodded. This was indeed a good idea. Since the Sakura group wants to provoke us, we'll teach them a lesson and let them know what trouble is. Lin Gu said, I want the Sakura group to not have peace in Japan. Let's see if they still have the mood to find trouble with us. That's a good idea. Su Yun smiled. Then, Brother Zhe won't be too busy, right? Does he have something to help you with? Lin Gu chuckled. Of course. Even if I need his help elsewhere, he will definitely do his best. Not to mention, I'm going to the Japanese right wing. Ever since the Japanese right wing went to Turtle Island, he's been doing it professionally. That was a good thing. The Sakura group was very right wing. They were 100% sure of this. Right wing is in control of the Japanese right now, and they're very powerful, Lin Gu said. My senior brother must be very busy over there. I'll help him out. Su Yun nodded. Okay, go ahead. Put the company's matters aside. I'll take care of the company, Bai Xiaoye said. Bai Xiaoye said, go ahead and teach them a lesson. Since they dared to mess with us in China, it's time for us to teach them a lesson. Lin Gu smiled evilly. Don't worry, the Sakura group won't be having a good time. After Su Yun contacted Chen Wei, everyone left first. With Bai Xiaoye and Chou Yun by Yu Marin's side to comfort her, there would be no problem. Chen Wei quickly dealt with the matter after arriving at the scene. According to various judgments, a taxi driver was killed this afternoon, and it was this woman who did it. Therefore, she deserved to die. As for the escaped Misa Fukada, Chen Wei quickly issued a red warrant and mobilized all the armed special police forces on Qingdao. Due to the danger of the target, once the target was identified, they would kill her on the spot. After everything was arranged, Su Yun returned home with peace of mind. Yu Meiren had fallen asleep under the care of Bai Xiaoye and Chou Yun due to the shock and mental trauma. Su Yun didn't disturb her anymore. He just called Wan Guangxiao and explained the whole thing in detail. Hearing that everything was settled, Wan Guangxiao was relieved. He also told Su Yun that if it was too dangerous outside, he could bring Yu Meiren back. After all, the Dragon Brigade was the safest place. Of course, they would respect Yu Meiren's choice and decide what she wanted. Chapter 24:15. Lin Gu booked the earliest flight online and boarded the plane to Japan in 2 hours. He did not have time to say goodbye to Feng Ye, so he only made a call. Su Yun personally sent Lin Gu to the airport. On the way, he reminded Lin Gu to be careful. After all, the Sakura group was not to be trifled with. Lin Gu promised Su Yun that he would take good care of himself and would not disappoint him. With Xie Fei's taking care of him, he believed that he would be able to do it very smoothly. Say hello to your senior brother for me. I haven't seen him in a long time. After this is done, if he has time to return to China, I'll treat him to a drink, Su Yun said with a smile. That's fine. Lin Gu said, I also think that he should come back and rest for a while. There are so many right-wing groups in Japan. They definitely won't be wiped out. Su Yun smiled. Then, he's only active in Japan now. What identity is he using? Will it be very dangerous? Remember to tell him to be careful and pay attention to his safety. He's an old bull now. Lin Guo said. He's doing well in Japan's largest organization. He won't be in danger. But the Japanese right wing is a mafia-like organization on the streets of Japan. Su Yun said. Could it be that he's hiding among them? That's right. It's easier to do things if he's hiding among them. Lin Guo said. In a broad sense, the Japanese right wing is the hawkish faction of the political forces and the hardline faction of the Conservative Party. So, they're slightly different from them. Their organizations are for their personal interests now, so some things are easier to do. Su Yun nodded. That's good. I hope everything goes well. I guarantee that the Sakura group will cry for their parents. Lin Guo was full of confidence. Su Yun quickly sent Lin Guo to the airport. As the boarding time was tight, Lin Guo quickly bade farewell and left. During this period of time, Su Yun had been in a tense state of work. After a few days of relaxation, he was once again tensed up because of the Sakura group's harassment. As long as Misa Fukada was still alive, Su Yun would not be able to rest in peace. After all, this trouble was caused by him. Su Yun wouldn't just stand by and watch his SWAT brothers get involved in this matter. After sending off Lin Guo, Su Yun didn't go home directly. Instead, he went to the place where Misa Fukada had escaped. Misa Fukada was able to escape not only because of the smoke, but also because of the way she ran. Although Misa Fukada looked more like a samurai than a ninja in all aspects, since she knew how to escape, she naturally knew how to make herself faster. Because Lin Guo and Cho Yun were very powerful masters, their qinggong and speed were very fast, but they still couldn't catch up with Misa Fukada, which showed how fast she was. Japanese ninjas moved very quickly. They liked to swing their arms backward and stretch their bodies forward, which helped to reduce air resistance. In this case, the surface of force between the feet and the ground was very small. In other words, there was only one point of contact with the toes. This way they could make the most of their advantage in running speed. Misa Fukada escaped very quickly, so she didn't have time to clean up her escape traces. As long as Su Yun looked for clues, he believed that he would be able to find some clues. Su Yun's investigation quickly paid off. Based on the investigation of the dust marks on the ground, he found the direction where Misa Fukada might have escaped. Following this clue, Su Yun found a Japanese restaurant. Although this Japanese restaurant had long been closed, Su Yun knew the owner of this restaurant very well. Shirley had told him that the owner of this Japanese restaurant was a Japanese, so their cuisine was very authentic. Many Japanese on Koto Island like to come here to eat authentic Japanese cuisine. In addition to this restaurant, the Japanese owner also had his own foot spa called Roppongi Foot Spa. Roppongi was one of the areas in Tokyo's Kyoto port area, and Hua Xia's embassy was also located in Roppongi. That place was famous for its nightlife and Westerners. Obviously, the Japanese owner was from Roppongi. This place provided all kinds of Japanese services, and all the service technicians were Japanese women from Japan. Japanese women were known for being gentle in the world, so the business here was very popular. Of course, this place was not as clean as one would think. Some of the services were very special, so many men would come to try it. After all, this small island of Japan mainly produced **********, and almost everyone had watched their romantic action movies. Therefore, it was normal to have some thoughts about Japanese women. More importantly, this Japanese owner seemed to have caught a little bit of Hua Xia's revenge mentality. Therefore, the business here was very popular. Although there were rumors of some irregular services in this place, Hua Xia's police did not catch anyone in the act after several surprise inspections. According to Shirley, it was because their boss had a very good relationship with the leader of the Japanese embassy in Koto, so he might have some information. After all, this kind of thing was hard to say. Even if it was a surprise inspection, there would be times when the news would leak out. Therefore, the boss of Roppongi must be very well informed to be able to face the surprise inspection calmly every time. Because they did not find anything after several inspections, the people from the Japanese embassy had the right to speak up for them. They hoped that the Huaxia's police would not use this excuse to disturb their business in Koto. This would also make some people lose face. Therefore, without full confidence, the police would not do any more surprise inspections. Regarding this, Shirley really admired this Japanese owner. On one hand, he used the advantage of his shop's technicians. On the other hand, he used his relationship with the Japanese embassy. Even if the price was 3 or even 5 times higher than ordinary places, he still made a lot of money. At that time, Shirley wanted to smash his shop and snatch all the Japanese technicians to work for his shop. However, the owner's relationship was not ordinary. Shirley had already received a warning from some leaders. Unless he wanted to make trouble for himself, he should not provoke this person. Also, according to Shirley, this Japanese owner was obviously arrogant. He thought that Japanese people were great, and he even said that he wanted to earn money from Huaxia. He treated Huaxia as his cash cow. Some people even said that if there was a war, he would invest the money he earned from Huaxia into the development of the Japanese military. Therefore, Shirley had always wanted to mess with this old bastard. However, he had no choice but to give some face to the higher-ups because of personal reasons. After all, no leader wanted to see trouble. Until Shirley retired, this was the only regret in Shirley's heart that he was unhappy with. After Su Yun's analysis, this place was really a good choice. Moreover, Misa Fukada's traces disappeared after arriving at this place. Su Yun dialed Shirley's number. "Brother Lei, do you still remember the Japanese restaurant you told me about? Where is their boss's foot bath city? Brother, do you want to wash your feet? I'll recommend you a few good places. They are all very professional massage technicians." Shirley was a little puzzled. How could Su Yun be willing to patronize a Japanese business? "Why do you want to go to that place?" "There's something I need to solve." Su Yun smiled slightly. Shirley said, "It's hard to say. Where are you? I'll pick you up and take you there. The foot bath city is not near the restaurant. It's not far from my house. Are you at home? If you are, I'll come and find you." Su Yun said. "Then come. I'll get dressed and wait for you downstairs," Shirley said. Su Yun hung up the phone and quickly drove back to Shirley's house. He believed that the traces of Misa Fukada's escape would not disappear for no reason. Someone must have helped her and let her find a suitable place to hide. If Su Yun's judgment was correct, the person who helped Misa Fukada was most likely the owner of this Japanese restaurant. And the best place for her to hide was Roppongi Foot Bath City. Chapter 24:16. When Su Yun arrived at Shirley's house, Shirley was already waiting for him at the door. When he saw Su Yun's car, Shirley quickly ran over to open the door and get in. "Turn right when you go out, turn left at the second traffic light, then turn right when you reach the intersection. Drive a few hundred meters and you'll be there," Shirley said. "At this time, that place will definitely be busy. Brother Lei, I'm really sorry to disturb your rest in the middle of the night." Su Yun smiled embarrassedly. "What are you talking about? Why are you being so polite with me?" Shirley said. "All right, what's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry to go there? Could it be that there's something wrong with that place and you're preparing to get rid of him?" Su Yun smiled. "Maybe I'll really get rid of him tonight." Shirley was startled. "Really? That's great. Ha ha ha, you don't say. If that place gets rid of him, there will definitely be a lot of people cursing. Ha ha, the service of the Japanese girls there is really not bad. It's definitely the service of a maid. It's quite good." Su Yun, no matter how much of a maid they are in the end, they still earn Huaxia's money into their own pockets. Yes, but a lot of people don't understand. They all feel that it's worth it to spend a bit of money to get the Japanese girls to serve them. Shirley said, "It's a sense of accomplishment." It's not surprising that they have such a mentality. Su Yun, after all, when the Japanese bullied our Huaxia, they ruined many Huaxia girls. Now that the country is rich and the people are strong, It's natural for them to have such a sense of superiority. Shirley snorted. Their boss made use of our Huaxia's mentality to earn so much money. That's why the Japanese are still too cunning. Su Yun smiled. How's the cost of living there? Normal people can't afford to go there. A simple foot wash and the most basic 30-minute pedicure would cost you 398 yuan. That's a price you can get from a normal spa. Shirley said, if we do their specialty Roppongi foot massage and Japanese massage, it'll be 898 renminbi for an hour. Su Yun grinned. The cost was really high. Most people wouldn't be able to afford it. In normal bathing centers and pedicure shops, girls with good figures and good looks would only cost about 1,000 to 2,000 yuan for a visit. But in that place, a visit would cost at least 6,888 yuan. Su Yun grinned. Doesn't that mean we won't even have a new iPhone with a large screen? That's a must. Shirley said, the technicians there are all wearing the latest Plus model. Many of them were even carrying 5s when they went inside to spend money. What was this called? This was called, they would rather have their wallets suffer in order to find this thrill. Also, the health care there can't be done in installments. The average monthly income of the people on Guqin Island isn't even enough for them to go there and work as a healthcare provider, Su Yun said. Forget it. The average monthly income in Beijing is less than 6,800 yuan? Shirley said, Guqin Island looks like a rich and affluent place. Didn't the average monthly income last year already count? It's less than 4,000 yuan. What standard is that? It's not even in the middle of the country. But the housing prices here are really arrogant. Including the suburbs, the average is still around 10,000 yuan. Su Yun smiled. Average was not something that could be brought up. The average income in Huaxia was quite nonsensical. Even the hard-working and underpaid sanitation workers in Ali University would have a monthly income of more than 100 million yuan. I've seen through the so-called average salary now. It's all nonsense. Shirley said, the hard-working people at the bottom are really aggrieved. They're already unhappy enough that they don't earn enough money, but they still have to bear the blame of being a burden to the country. Some of them are even crying and complaining that they're not just dragging the country down, they're dragging the country down. The people doing the statistics can't even count those on the periphery. Su Yun said, this money is basically the average income of the country's civil servants. Shirley nodded. That's right. Haven't many civil servants been complaining about their low salaries on the internet recently? I really don't know what these people are thinking. They can't be blamed for complaining. 10 years ago, civil servants were crying poor when they said they had no money. Now, they're really poor when they say they have no money. Su Yun, it's true that their income is not high, but they just want a social status. As for their income, if they were all like Jack Ma, wouldn't that be terrible? Don't F*King talk nonsense. Before our leaders started a strict anti-corruption battle, they didn't F*King hear of any mayors, secretaries, or departmental officials resigning. Now that they're starting to fight against corruption, all of them are F*King saying that their salaries are low and that there's little room for advancement. It's just that there's no F*King place to be greedy. Su Yun laughed. Brother Lei, you're already so old. Why are you still so angry? It's not that I'm angry. If it weren't for the constant news on the internet, people resigning, and people saying that their salaries are low, I wouldn't be bothered to flame them. Shirley said, I also know that many people will say that I'm a flame when I say this. They will say that it's not easy for them to become civil servants. They will say that they have the right to have a higher salary. But I F*King want to ask these people, who the F*CK is forcing you to take the exam. What do civil servants do? Ever since Grandpa Mao said it, it's to serve the people. Brother Lei, if everyone had the same awareness as you, they definitely wouldn't have resigned, Su Yun said. He really agreed with what Lei said. Brother, I've washed my hands of the gold basin, but I've always been concerned about the country's affairs. The Central Committee of the Communist Party of China's 6th plenary session on several major issues concerning the construction of a harmonious socialist society clearly points out that serving the people is the sacred duty of all levels of government and the basic principle of all civil servants. Shirley was a little agitated. Su Yun nodded. When the country has a meeting, the local government will also have a meeting. These things are all discussed. But when it comes to the local government, there are very few people who really listen. Anyone who complains is not worthy of such a noble profession. How can selfish people talk about serving the people? If civil servants are not convinced, they can argue. This is the decision of the big shots. Shirley was filled with righteous indignation. Important things had to be said 3 times. Sacred duty, basic principle. Sacred duty, basic principle. Sacred duty, basic principle. Su Yun had held many meetings when he was in the army. Love the motherland, be loyal to the people. Consider the big picture, be united and cooperate. Be conscientious in their duties, be honest in their duties. This was what all people who worked for the country and the people should remember in their hearts. I've said it before. Those officials who resigned, just let them go. Expel them from the party. Check all their fixed assets and liquid assets. Shirley said, although I'm not a good person, and I'm not a civil servant, I'm still a party member. Su Yun was stunned. Brother Lei, you're also a party member? Brother, I've made a fool of myself. I only joined the party because I have status and it's easy to do things. Shirley said in shame. But I really don't deserve this title. Brother Lei, you're also a prodigal son who has turned over a new leaf. Why do you have to be so self-deprecating? Su Yun said. I'm serious. I really don't deserve it. Shirley said, but even a person like me who doesn't deserve it, I still remember the oath I took when I joined the party. I remember very clearly that I clenched my fists and faced my head in front of the national flag and said that I will fight for communism for the rest of my life. I'm ready to sacrifice everything for the party and the people. Su Yun naturally also swore in front of the national flag. He also knew the oath very well. It was sacred and could not be violated. Which official isn't a party member? Don't tell me they don't need to take the oath. Aren't they ready to sacrifice everything for the party and the people? Then why are they still complaining about their low pay? Their role in society is as important as theirs. The work intensity is much higher than theirs, but there are many people who earn less than theirs. Shirley said, if they all complain, then what's the point of talking about the country being rich and the people being strong? Youth who were dissatisfied with the unfairness of society and the current state of society, who advocated what they believed to be righteous and used their actions to influence the people around them, who were eager to change reality, were later abbreviated as angry youths. Many people said that the degree of angry youths was too high and lacked objectivity, which would have a negative impact on society. However, Su Yun felt that although some of the words spoken by the old nationalist youth lacked objectivity, he had very directly and clearly pointed out a topic. Shirley wasn't the kind of person who didn't know much about the world. He had interacted with too many people with such faces, which was why he said such words. What did it mean to serve the people wholeheartedly? How many people could really do this? Su Yun was actually very glad that his brothers around him could do it and weren't corrupted. The waters of society were too deep. It wasn't something that anyone could play with. Chapter 24:17. Think back to the revolutionary period. How many people took the initiative to endure hardships in order to join this noble cause? Everyone knows who was corrupt and who was incorruptible during the years when the two parties confronted each other. Who became an official to fill their own pockets? Who became an official to serve the people? Shirley said, society has changed, and some practices have also changed. Su Yun said, because now it will never be the era of hard work. Many so-called public servants who wanted to serve the people used their power to do disgusting things. Now they actually have the face to stand up and complain about their low salary. They even have the face to stand up and say that it is not easy to make a name for yourself in a grassroots job. Shirley sneered. Then they start to talk about how difficult it was for them to become a civil servant. No matter how difficult it was not forced by others. No matter how difficult it was forced by their own families. Su Yun smiled. He believed that there were still people who really wanted to serve the people. Those who took the civil servant exam in the past had the mentality of serving the people. Now, no matter what position they are in, they will not say things like, work pressure is high and the salary is low. Even the lowest staff in a small city who only earns 3,000 renminbi will not say such things. Shirley nodded. I admit that there are still people who have aspirations. And those who said such things had some kind of dirty thoughts when they took the civil servant exam in the past. Who dares to deny that 80% of young people take the civil servant exam not for a decent job but to be looked up to by others? Who dares to deny that 80% of young people take the civil servant exam not for a stable and easy job? Su Yun continued to drive according to Shirley's directions. He said, "It is not easy to serve the people. Why is it so difficult to take the civil servant exam? It is because we need to select the most elite talents who have the clearest minds to do things that ordinary people cannot do and overcome difficulties that ordinary people cannot overcome. But the truth is, how many people can do it?" Shirley smiled bitterly. Actually, I really want to ask those who are complaining what is in their minds. Su Yun signaled him not to think too much. It is just like what you said. There is a lot of pressure from all sides now with the anti-corruption efforts. Naturally, there will be people who complain if nothing is given during the Chinese New Year. How many people have never received any gifts during the New Year? At least I know a lot of them. Benefits aren't like wages. Sometimes, they don't know how to be grateful and complain when they don't have it. Shirley said, "This attitude. I can't believe they have the attitude of a small town. How much a person can bear is how much they can get in return." Shirley said, "I've always believed in this, that income and ability are always proportional. There must be a reason for the salary of any position." Su Yun nodded in agreement. Some people couldn't do much in a day, so they didn't have the right to complain. Someone once said that a boss has to work 15 hours a day and even sleep in a car that travels all over the country. That's why they're qualified to be a boss. Su Yun, middle-level leaders in the company have to work 12 hours a day. Before they go to bed, they have to think clearly about the work and problems they have to solve the next day. That's why they can get a salary of more than 10,000 yuan a month. Low-level leaders get 6,000 yuan a month, but they have to work 10 hours a day. The employees only work 8 hours a day to do their own things, so they can only get 3,000 yuan a month. After pausing for a moment, Su Yun continued, "As for those who have things to do every day, they won't have the time to complain." Shirley smiled. "Yes, that's true. And those who spend more than half of their 8 hours a day in a days are the only ones who have the time to complain. And only these kinds of people don't have the right to complain. Complain all you want. These kinds of people can only live in complaining, Su Yun, because this is the only way they can still feel their existence. The world would be clean if there were fewer of these kinds of people." Shirley said, "Forget it, let's not talk about them. Once we talk about them, I'll get angry." At this moment, Su Yun had already seen the signboard of the Roppongi Foot Spa City by the roadside. This place isn't hard to find. They're not afraid of people investigating them even though they've opened such a place. Their connections are really strong. After all, they have the people from the Japanese consulate backing them. Shirley said, "Forget it, I don't have the right to criticize them. I didn't do anything good in the past. Let's not talk about it." Su Yun stopped the car. Immediately, a young man rushed forward to open the car door for them. After opening the car door, he greeted them in Japanese. "Cry your Yoshua." Shirley glanced at the young man and ignored him. However, Su Yun patted him on the shoulder. "Brother, just speak Chinese. It's not like you're from Japan." The young man was stunned for a moment. This was the boss's rule. He wanted them to learn some simple Japanese to greet customers and give the customers the illusion that Japanese are opening the car door for themselves. This was why he had watched some Japanese movies and learned some simple Japanese. "How did you know that I'm not Japanese?" the young man asked embarrassedly. "What you said just now meant, 'Good afternoon.' Look at how high the moon is now. You should greet it with kodo wa instead of cry your Yashua. You haven't received professional training, right? You learned it from watching movies, right? Don't say it's wrong in the future. You'll be laughed at." Shirley couldn't help but look at Su Yun in admiration. "Brother, you really know a lot." "I'm just so. Su Yun said humbly. He was not in a hurry to go in. Instead, he continued to ask the young man at the door. "Is there anything new here?" The young man at the door was stunned. "Bro, you look unfamiliar." "It should be your first time here, right? Then to you, everything here is new. Hee, the quality here is very high. They are all pure Japanese girls, not fake ones like me. They are definitely purebred Japanese butterflies." Su Yun shook his head. "It's indeed my first time here, but I don't want to play with those who have been played too many times. If there's a new one, tell me." "Bro, if you say so, you're really lucky. The boss brought a new one today. It's been less than 2 hours, so I don't know the number plate. You can go in and ask," the young man said. Su Yun smiled. "How does she look? Is she good?" "She looks good, and her body is very hot." The young man said, "I guarantee that when her slender waist twists on you, you will fall head over heels for her." Shirley looked at the young man impatiently. "How much did the Japanese pay you? You're working so hard to promote him. If you have the energy, you should find a company to run some business. Maybe you'll earn 10 times more than here." To be honest, the boss invited me here because I look like a Japanese. "I can improve the quality of Roppongi," the young man said proudly. "You look like a Japanese, and you're still proud? Have you said this to your parents? They didn't beat you into a placenta?" Shirley was angry when he heard the young man's tone. He was too cowardly. Although he was scolded, the young man did not dare to be angry or say anything. They had rules. No matter what the customer said, they could not be angry. So, he could only look at Shirley unwillingly. Shirley stared at him and said, "What are you looking at? You want to take revenge after remembering my face? Let me tell you, my name is Shirley. If you want to mess with me, go out and ask around." Was there a need to ask around? Once he heard the name, the young man's legs went soft. Although this was a big brother who had retired, he was not someone he could afford to offend at his level. "Brother, I was wrong. It's all my fault. Don't be angry. Please don't lower yourself to my level." The young man nodded and bowed. Only then did Shirley swing his hand heavily, no longer paying attention to this shameless fellow. Su Yun patted the young man's shoulder. "Brother Lei has eaten too much today and is a little heady. Don't mind him. Go and do your work." After saying that, Su Yun walked in with Shirley. Shirley was still unhappy that this guy took pride in looking like a Japanese. He turned around and said, "It's your shame to look like a Japanese. Do you understand?" The young man did not dare to say anything. He could only lower his head and accept the scolding. After Su Yun and Shirley left, he muttered, "Don't vent your anger on me. Vent it on those Japanese women. You're already in decline, and you're still pretending. What's the point of pretending?" Chapter 24:18. Why are you chatting with someone who worships foreign things? I get angry when I see him. Shirley was still angry. "Brother Lei, did you enter menopause in advance after washing your hands of the gold basin?" Su Yun grinned. "There are all kinds of birds in the forest. There's no need to get angry over such things. It's meaningless." Shirley calmed down a little. "I'm really annoyed with these bastards." A few girls in Footbath City had already come to them. They greeted them and introduced them to the program. Shirley had been here before, so he was familiar with the prices here. I'll get a special massage from Rapongi. Get me two with better service. The two of them quickly changed into their shoes, then got up and walked inside. Sirs, please come in and wait on the second floor. The service staff welcomed them in and immediately used the walkie-talkie to explain the situation to the people on the second floor to prepare to receive the guests. These Japanese clogs were really uncomfortable to wear. He didn't know if there was something wrong with the Japanese's brains. Why didn't they understand such a simple principle? One had to wear comfortable shoes. After the two of them came to the second floor, someone immediately brought them into a double room. Soon, two girls in Japanese kimonos walked into the room and greeted them politely, indicating that they could serve them immediately. Su-yun, the Japanese are better than us in one aspect. They can preserve some things that should be preserved. This kimono is one of them. On the streets of Japan, it's not strange to see girls in kimonos. That's right. If there were a group of girls in Huaxia Street wearing hanfu, they would definitely be treated as an oddity. Shirley said, "By the way, isn't there a guy called Zhou Libo? He's a good-for-nothing. He's a judge on some show." When he saw the ladies performing in traditional Chinese attire, he couldn't even fucking recognize them. Su-yun smiled. It seemed that everyone knew that Zhou Libo was uncultured. Say, this program's leader is really too much. He has to look at one's educational background to be a judge. He might as well get my mother to give some comments instead of a guy with a primary school diploma as a judge. My mother is at least a high school student. Shirley said, "It's not like she can't even recognize Han Chinese clothing." Su-yun said, "It's not Zhou's fault that he doesn't know about the hanfu. It's because we didn't pass it down, that's why people don't recognize it. It's not strange that you don't recognize people in Han attire. Just as you said, it's indeed because the legacy wasn't passed down properly." Shirley said, "But to be so shameless in front of everyone, that Zhou guy is wrong. He's too uncultured. It's scary to be uncultured." Su-yun, she's not a good person to begin with. She's just showing off her bottom line to get attention. While the two were chatting, the service technician had already prepared the hot water. At this time, Shirley was a little confused. "Brother, didn't you say that you have something important to do here? What's the situation now? From what I see, you really just want to wash your feet today. Let's get comfortable first." "Since we're already here," Su-yun laughed. "If there's a chance, let's relax a little." Only then did Shirley relax and put his feet into the water. "Then tell me what's the matter?" Su-yun glanced at the two Japanese service technicians. Shirley waved his hand. "They only know a few simple greetings and questions. They don't understand what we're saying. If you're worried, I'll speak Japanese. You can play Japanese. You can make them faint." Su-yun was a little curious. Say, if people come here to wash their feet, they definitely want to flirt. But these girls don't understand and can't communicate, so why would people come here? Shirley suddenly laughed evilly and splashed some water on the technician who was washing his feet. The technician hurriedly stood up and said, "Yamit, did you see that? Some people are so bored that they came here just to hear this sound in real life," Shirley said. "That's a few hundred yuan. What a waste of money. Maybe his technique is good." Su-yun laughed. Shirley snorted. "Good technique my ass. He just wants to show his servile side and make the customers feel high and mighty. That's what he wants." Su-yun said, "Then this boss is really a smart person. If it weren't for the fact that he has a strong backer in the Japanese consulate, I would have destroyed him 2 years ago," Shirley said. "Back then, when this son of a bitch first set up this foot spa, in order to attract more customers, the price was a third lower than it is now. He almost forced the Huaxia shop to starve." "You don't care about that at all," Su-yun said. "I don't care, but some people do," Shirley said. "Besides, those proper massage technicians also care. Since they're in this line of work, they must have their difficulties. Otherwise, who would be willing to suck up to others to make money. In the end, they were forced into it by this son of a bitch. Su-Yun thought about it and felt that this was indeed the case. Every industry had its own grievances. Because of this, the business of many foot spa shops is not good. It's hard for foot therapists to find jobs. It led to some young girls being unable to withstand the pressure and the guidance of certain aspects, and they ended up doing that. Shirley said, "Brother, although I used to run this kind of shop, I really don't want to see those girls who originally didn't have to fall into this circle fall into it. Do you understand what I mean?" "I understand." Su-Yun nodded. Shirley was indeed not the kind of person who forced women into prostitution. If he was, he would not have made friends with him. So, at that time, I wanted to kill this son of a bitch. Shirley said, "It's a pity. If I really killed him, those leaders who protected me in the past would have directly told me that they definitely couldn't protect me." Su-Yun laughed. "Maybe those leaders who said that they couldn't protect you also liked the service here." "Does he still need to come here?" Shirley snorted. "Just the number of mistresses alone is more than 360. Every night, he can sleep with one without repeating for a year. Isn't this an exotic place?" Su-Yun said. There had been too many leaders who had such mistresses falling from grace this year. Someone had even compiled a deck of poker cards of corrupt officials on the internet. He estimated that if someone were to sell it, it would definitely be a hit. In the future, when playing cards, King Bomb would not be called King Bomb, but Zhou Su Bomb. With their level, before the crackdown, they were really capable of doing anything. Shirley said, "If they want to experience an exotic place, with just a phone call, there will naturally be people who will gather beauties from Japan, Korea, Europe, America, Russia, and even Southeast Asia and Africa, and send them home." Su-Yun laughed and waved his hand. "Brother, don't joke with me. A reinforced regiment has 4 infantry battalions and 1 artillery battalion. Do you know how many people there are? Let me calculate. Let's say that a squad has 10 people, a platoon has 3 squads, a company has 3 platoons, plus the Chow squad and so on. Let's say 100 people." Shirley said, "A battalion has 3 companies, a regiment has 3 battalions. How many people can there be?" "I'm still saying that it's too little." Su-Yun stuck out his tongue. "Then this firepower is too fierce. Aren't they afraid of being eaten up and directly dying in bed?" Shirley sighed and said with emotion, "The current society is still the best. Fight against corruption, and do your best to rectify the situation. Clean up everything, and there won't be so many problems in the future." "If this goes on, won't more leaders resign?" Su-Yun said. "If they dare to resign, check all their relatives and friends. See how many people entered the civil service through their connections. Kick them all out." Shirley said, "Check their family background, thoroughly check. If they only resign and don't do anything, I swear on my head that there must be something going on. If they aren't corrupt, I'll go to the biggest tieba and live broadcast eating shit." Su-Yun couldn't help but laugh. "Brother Lei, you're playing a little too much. Ha ha ha, what if someone resigned because they don't want to wallow in the mire with corrupt officials? If there are such people, I'll accept it. I'll treat eating shit as publicity for them, spreading the positive energy of society." Shirley said, "I won't lose out." Chapter 24:19. Su-Yun shook his head helplessly. He didn't expect Shirley, who was almost 40 years old, to be so angry. "Brother Lei, you really shouldn't have done that. You should have become a civil servant." "I really had the chance," Shirley said. "More than 10 years ago, if I wanted to enter any unit or department in Qingdao, it was just a matter of saying a few words. A few leaders just needed to meet and talk about it." "What about exams?" "How many people took exams back then?" "Then why didn't you go?" Su-Yun was quite curious. This government job has always been in high demand. Why didn't you seize such a good opportunity? Who knew that there were so many benefits to being an official? At that time, I was asked to be a deputy in the Municipal Political and Legal Committee. I thought it was just a deputy, so I didn't want to go. Shirley said, I thought that I would have a better future than working on my own. In the end, I found out that I was risking my life to make some money, while others could make a lot of money just by saying a few words. Su-Yun laughed. Nowadays, it's not easy to be a leader with the word deputy in front. It's just that those who retired were lucky. Otherwise, they would definitely be investigated. That's true. 7 or 8 out of 10 officials who fall from their positions are deputies. It's still more honest to the core. Whether Shirley's words were meant to be complimentary or derogatory, perhaps only he himself knew. It's good enough that the villain didn't succeed. Su-Yun, who cares if he's a deputy or an official? Just like the position I told you about that I didn't take. If someone took it, he would have made a fortune. His family would be in various departments, and his children would have all kinds of marriages. Shirley said, maybe he got enough and then retired. Actually, I think the country should do a comprehensive investigation when all the cadres retire. Su-Yun, that way, they might be more honest. Shirley chuckled. That's not necessarily the case. Those who retreated weren't honest. They used the power they had accumulated at that time to engage in illegal financing. Many people fell for it. They thought that a great leader at that time wouldn't do such a thing. Now, there are many people who can't get their money back and have no one to reason with. Su-Yun was taken aback. Didn't they all retire? Then sue them. Where are you going to sue him? When he was in power, he got a son into the Commission for Discipline Inspection and a daughter into the court. He even got a son-in-law in the Public Security Bureau and a daughter-in-law in the Procuratorate. You want to sue him? That's really not easy, Su-Yun said. He wasn't young to begin with, but he still did so many things before retiring. There are many people like him in the country. Shirley said, Brother, you're the only one who's honest. Some of the people around you are also honest. I won't talk about the dark things. It makes me seem like a person full of negative energy. It'll affect your mood. Su-Yun shook his head. Facts are facts. These things are unavoidable. Corruption exists in every country. That's true. Last month, the child of one of my buddies came back from studying in Wuka. He took a lot of pictures of him visiting the luxurious life of their former president, Yanukovych. That guy, even his toilet bowl is made of gold. What does that guy think his own feces are? Shirley sighed. Once a country is corrupted to that extent, it's really incurable, Su-Yun said. Fortunately, we launched a strict crackdown and investigation in time. Shirley nodded. That's right. This decision is too brilliant. After washing the feet, the technician began to massage. Su-Yun said to Shirley, Brother Lei, if you want to see their boss, wouldn't it be faster to cause some trouble? Shirley was stunned. Wasn't the change of topic too fast? Brother, are you ready to do something serious? Are you really going to deal with their boss? Shirley said, Aren't you worried that those leaders will make things difficult for you? If this person has the person I'm looking for, I don't care who his backer is. I'll tear him down. Su-Yun said, The person who has the ability to make things difficult for me hasn't been born yet. Shirley was very happy. He gave a thumbs up and said, Do you know why I admire you? It's because you have guts. I've never seen anyone with more guts than you in my life. Today, as long as you want to do it, no matter what it is, I'll accompany you. You know better than I do when it comes to smashing a place. Su-Yun grinned. Shirley immediately kicked the wooden tub away and roared at the two technicians, What are you washing? What is this called washing? Is this considered washing? See for yourself if it's clean. This loud roar scared the two technicians. Although Shirley himself didn't look like a fierce person, after so many years of being a big boss in society, the temperament cultivated by him was absolutely incomparable. Sorry. The two of them just kept bowing their heads and apologizing. Because Shirley's movement was big enough, the supervisor on the second floor immediately rushed over. Seeing Shirley's angry look, he immediately bowed and asked, "Sorry, may I ask if there's anything you're not satisfied with? We'll definitely improve it. See if my feet are clean." Shirley raised his feet. "You're telling me it's clean just like that? Who are you fooling?" The supervisor looked at Shirley's feet. It was indeed clean. "Sorry, sir, your feet are indeed clean. I don't know what else you're not satisfied with." "Oh. You're arguing with me, right? Washed clean. You said so?" Shirley said. The supervisor nodded. "Yes, it's very clean. I can guarantee it." "Okay, since you said it's clean, then let me have a taste and see if it's really clean." Shirley stretched his feet in front of the supervisor. "If you dare to add, then it means it's clean. If you don't dare, then it means I'm right. It's not clean." It's obviously clean. Don't bully people too much." Shirley's ability to be unreasonable was really good. "Then why don't you add? Isn't it clean? I came to your Japanese foot washing shop to be a boss. So what if I bully you? If you don't want to earn money, then get lost." The supervisor knew that he met a troublemaker today. The purpose of the other party wasn't to wash his feet, but to find trouble. "I can't explain it to you. Call your boss over." Shirley said, "Don't make me waste my breath talking nonsense with you." The supervisor was also angry. "Is our boss someone you can meet just because you want to? Who do you think you are? I'm your boss." Shirley kicked the supervisor's chest and sent him flying. This time, the matter was blown out of proportion. Shirley said angrily, "I'll give you 1 minute. Call your boss in front of me. Otherwise, I'll burn you down today." After that, Shirley really took out a lighter from his pocket. However, he didn't take out the lighter to light a fire, but to light a cigarette for himself. Seeing the supervisor run out, Shirley sat down and passed a cigarette to Su-Yun. Su-Yun gave him a thumbs up. "Brother Lei, why don't you follow me into the entertainment circle? With your acting skills, if I let you act as a big boss or something, you'll definitely win a Best Actor award." Shirley laughed and said, "Don't. Just give me a few passers-by and soldiers with lines. As for the others, I really don't dare to accept them." As the two of them were smoking and chatting, the boss of Roppongi Foot Massage Shop appeared. This Japanese was less than 1.6 meters tall, but he looked very energetic. He was around 40 years old, so it wasn't easy to judge him. "Hello, I'm Yamaguchi Shin, the boss of this foot massage shop. I don't know what you're dissatisfied with. The boss is here, right? Come in and have a seat. I'll have a good chat with you." Shirley said. "If you have something to say, just say it. Don't use your ignorant behavior to challenge my patience." Yamaguchi Shin suddenly said this. Shirley wanted to wipe it off immediately. Who is this grandson pretending to be? He was even giving him a dirty look. What kind of joke was this? Yamaguchi Shin. He, this name is quite interesting. Su-Yun said, "If you don't want to come in and sit, it's fine. Come in and stand. If you really sit down, I'm really worried that I won't be able to see you." Yamaguchi Shin could tell that Su-Yun was mocking his height. He clenched his fists. It seemed that he couldn't tolerate these two customers anymore. Chapter 24:20. If you want to cause trouble, you'd better take a good look at where you are. This is not a place where you can mess around. Yamaguchi Shin said, "I'll only warn you once. If you get out now, I might consider not pursuing the matter." Shirley was a little unhappy. "Tell me, who gave you the guts to challenge me? Get out. Do you believe that I'll slap you twice?" Yamaguchi Shin was furious. "Street thugs, I'm warning you. I'm not going to forgive you now. I just need to make a phone call and you'll go to jail. I can talk to all the leaders on Guchin Island. Who are you trying to scare? Are you trying to compare connections with me?" Shirley said disdainfully, "Sure, make the call. I don't believe that there's anyone on Koto who won't give me face. Su-yun didn't want the situation to develop further. It would delay his business. Boss Yamaguchi, when it comes to connections, you Japanese are really no match for us Huaxia people. Don't waste your time. Besides, this isn't a proper place. It won't be easy to clean up the mess if things get out of hand. Yamaguchi Shin was stunned. He looked at Su-yun from head to toe. Then tell me, what do you want? Since you're causing trouble, you must have a purpose. I'm here to consume entertainment. Of course, my purpose is to have fun. Su-yun, as long as I can have fun, it's not a problem. Yamaguchi Shin was a little confused. You should know the rules here since you're here to play. You just asked for a foot bath. What else do you want to play? If you want to play, go upstairs. There's only things you can't think of. There's nothing you can't do here. Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue by saying such things? Su-yun, I asked at the door when I came here. I said I wanted 2 fresh ones. But you obviously didn't follow my instructions. Yamaguchi Shin was stunned. Door. That's not involved in our work at all. If you really want to play, I'll personally take you upstairs. You can choose whatever you want. Okay, let's go. Su-yun said, Boss, I've made it clear. I want something fresh. I like to try new things. Yamaguchi Shin snorted. Su-yun was clearly a new face. What was not new to him when he came here? They must be fresh. Why didn't you have this attitude from the start? Why did you have to pretend? Shirley said, Open your door and do business. You have to greet your customers with a smile. Otherwise, how are you going to continue doing business? Think about it yourself. Yamaguchi Shin did not have a good impression of Shirley at all, but what he said was true. This was the way to do business. If it's a misunderstanding, it's best if we can clear things up. Yamaguchi said, Please follow me. Su-yun and Shirley were led by Shin Yamaguchi to a hidden elevator at the end of the 2nd floor. Everything below was a proper foot bath, and further up were some places that couldn't see the light of day. After arriving at the 3rd floor, scantily clad Japanese girls could be seen everywhere. After the 2 of them were brought to a room, Yamaguchi Shin got someone to bring in more than a dozen Japanese girls. All of them looked similar to the ones in the hard drive. No wonder business here was so good. Boss Yamaguchi, is this what you mean by fresh? Su-yun asked. Yamaguchi Shin nodded. A few of them only came to Huaxia last month. They're very fresh. If you can't find the freshness you want here, I'm afraid there won't be any in the entire Koto Island. You have to think carefully before you speak. Su-yun said, Your young man at the door just told me that you brought back some today. Yamaguchi Shin frowned. He's talking nonsense. I'll make him leave tomorrow. That's impossible. Since your staff said so, it must be true. His purpose is good. He's helping you attract customers. Su-yun said, Boss Yamaguchi, if you have new ones, don't hide them. Are you afraid that I can't afford them? As he spoke, Su-yun took out a black bank card and slammed it on the table. Yamaguchi Shin was more or less surprised when he saw this black card. How could such a young man possess the Centurion Black Gold card of the American Express? Those who had never seen this card would definitely not know what this card represented. This was a world-recognized high-end credit card. It wasn't until 2012 that the Industry and Commerce Bank and China Merchants Bank were authorized to issue the Centurion Black Gold card in the Asia-Pacific. There were many high-profile people in Huaxia who liked to swipe their platinum cards and take pictures of the table with their iPhones. The truly low-key rich people would put a Nokia V2 phone on the table. The most expensive one could buy an entry-level BMW 7 Series. And these people all used this kind of Centurion Black Gold card. Don't think that just because you're a 7-star customer and have a private bank card, you're awesome. The service purpose of the Centurion Black Gold card was the highest level. No matter where the cardholder was, any request would be immediately responded to and assisted to fulfill. The cardholder could obtain upgrade services for private and first-class cabins on daily passenger planes, upgrade services for hotel suites, private travel advisory services, admission tickets to major performances, 24-hour private banking services, and so on. The Black Gold card also allowed the cardholder to easily enter the upper-class social circle, enter various high-end clubs, and establish and expand their social circle. If there was an emergency, it wouldn't be a problem to swipe a plane. There was once a Black Gold cardholder who traveled to a war-torn country. In the end, the airport was bombed and no one could get out. The person with the Black Gold card immediately mobilized a plane to pick him up. This was what it meant to be rich and capricious. As for turning a plane around, stopping trains, and going to space, although there had always been rumors, there was very little evidence to prove it due to the need to protect the customer's privacy. No matter what, the person who had the Centurion Black Gold card was not an ordinary person. This card was made for Su Yun by Zhua Meiyan. Su Yun had never used it. After all, he still felt that it was too high profile and pretentious. Moreover, people who didn't know this card would mistake it for a VIP membership card in a store or specialty store. Today, Su Yun took out this thing to show this Japanese, Yamamoto Shin, how powerful he was. The annual fee of this card was almost comparable to the annual income of a loser. Sir, since you insist on thinking this way, I might as well explain it. Yamamoto Shin's attitude was much better. No one would be willing to offend a rich person. Just now, there was a girl who came here with me and was seen by the receptionist at the door. However, she is my friend, not a technician who works here. Su Yun shook his head in disbelief. It's already so late. What kind of friend would come here with you? And it's a girl. Sir, I'm sorry. This is my personal matter. Yamamoto Shin said, You want to have fun. How about this? I'll leave the 10 most beautiful and skilled girls here for you. You'll definitely be happy until the sun rises. Su Yun raised his hand and said, Don't. I don't care about these girls. Don't give me 8 or 10 of them. I just want the one who came with you. But that's really not her. Yamamoto Shin said, What do I have to do to make you believe me? If that's the case, why don't I let her come out to receive guests? I have no reason to. Maybe you want to have a taste too. Su Yun smiled and said, If you want me to believe you, I can do that. Let her come and tell me personally that she's not in this line of work. I'll pay 1 million for a night with her. If she refuses, I won't force her. Yamamoto Shin was stunned. This rich person was indeed rich. 1 million just like that. This was too exaggerated. However, when he saw that Su Yun had the Centurion Black Gold card, it was hard to say. Once a person was rich to a certain extent, they could do anything. A photo of Marilyn Monroe was auctioned in the United States. It was valued at 6 million USD. There would definitely be people who would buy it. Hence, it was not surprising that rich people would do anything. If he couldn't do something outrageous, could he still be considered rich? Then I'll go and ask. Please wait for a moment. Yamamoto Shin saw his financier and did not say anything else. If he could earn this money, it would naturally be good. After all, it was Hua Xia's money. It would be a waste if he did not earn it. He was in this line of business. If there was a need in this area, he would naturally not reject customers. After Yamamoto Shin left, Shirley grinned and said, Brother, you're really willing to spend 1 million USD? I didn't mean that. I just want to see this person. Su Yun said, I'm not that extravagant. Chapter 24-21. On the way out, Shin Yamaguchi had been guessing Su Yun's identity. This young man must be a powerful person, but he had never seen him in Koto Island. After all, Shin Yamaguchi had not wasted his years in Hua Xia. He often went to upper-class places, which was also something he was very keen on. Although a person like him was nothing in upper-class society, because he had the support of so many executives in the Japanese consulate, they basically gave him some face. Shin Yamaguchi still could not forget the Centurion Black Gold card that Su Yun showed him. That was something he had applied for many times, but he had not applied for it. Although he had to pay nearly 20,000 yuan a year, the power of this small card was huge. Let's talk about the most basic life-saving thing. If something happened that day, at least he could get a plane to pick him up in time. Right now, Abe number 3 had made Japan's political scene so stinky. He was always trying to touch China's bottom line. Who knew when he would go overboard and self-immolate? If that day really came, it would be troublesome. He would definitely die a horrible death. If he really angered Hua Xia, Shin Yamaguchi was still thinking about how to save his life. The easier way to save his life and leave Hua Xia was to have such a Centurion black gold card. No matter what the situation was, whether the route was closed or not, with the Centurion black gold card, someone would come forward to coordinate and settle it. This was such an awesome card. As long as he had such a card, he would not be afraid to go anywhere in the world. Obviously, he really did not have the qualifications to apply for this card. Although he thought of many ways, he still could not get it approved. Shin Yamaguchi pondered about the black gold card as he came to his office. At this moment, Misa Fukada was resting with her eyes closed. When she heard the sound at the door, she quickly opened her eyes. "Miss Fukada." Shin Yamaguchi entered the door and said, "I hope I didn't disturb you." "Of course not." Misa Fukada said, "I am disturbing you. I am really grateful to you for helping me at a critical moment." "Thank you, Mr. Yamaguchi. We are all Japanese. It is normal to help each other." Shin Yamaguchi said, "It is my honor to help Miss Fukada." Misa Fukada smiled. "Thank you, Mr. Yamaguchi." "Miss Fukada, although I don't know what you've encountered, I can guess that the trouble you've encountered is not easy to solve." Yamaguchi said, "And you don't want to accept the help of the consulate." "Mr. Yamaguchi, I know what you mean. I won't bother you for too long. I'll leave tomorrow," Misa Fukada said. No. That's not what I meant." Yamaguchi said, "This is the home of the Japanese. You can stay here as long as you want." "Thank you," Misa Fukada said. Yamaguchi Shin finally got to the point. "Miss Fukada, I think you know what my shop does. Do you mind?" "Of course not." Misa Fukada said, "I just feel that it's a bit embarrassing for us Japanese women to serve Hua Xia men." "Mr. Yamaguchi, I probably shouldn't have said that. I hope you don't mind." "It won't happen." Yamaguchi said, "Actually, I don't want to do this either. But I feel that since we're earning money from Hua Xia, it's not a big deal." Misa Fukada didn't say anything. Perhaps Yamaguchi Shin's words made sense. Even if they don't come to Hua Xia to earn money, what can they do? "We don't lack," Yamaguchi said, "and the money earned is not much. How much can one film earn? It's far less than doing it once with Hua Xia men here." As a woman, Misa Fukada didn't participate in this topic. She was very clear about the situation of the Japanese women. Yamaguchi said, "It's all for the sake of earning money. Since we have to bear the same burden, there's nothing wrong with changing the method. We're all doing the same thing. It's not a big deal." Misa Fukada smiled. Everyone's outlook on life was different. There was no need for her to disagree with others. There was a saying that some people drove Land Rovers but played mahjong for 1 yuan. Some people drove cars that cost tens of thousands but had 3 apartments. Some people wore clothes from street stalls but wore watches that cost hundreds of thousands. Some people were eating spicy hot pot, perhaps to celebrate the completion of their villa's renovation. There were also some people who were still using their iPhones, but they had bought Prada handbags with their signatures. Don't use your own values to measure other people's abilities. What you think is awesome, they might not be interested in. This was the difference between people. Perhaps Misa Fukada felt that it wasn't good for these Japanese women to come to Hua Xia to do such things. But since she came, she felt that it wasn't a big deal. All kinds of porn stars came to Hua Xia to earn money. Hatano-sensei and Abu-sensei also came to make cameo appearances as poor men to earn extra money. Therefore, Hua Xia was a place for these Japanese women to earn money. The method wasn't important. What was important was that they got what they wanted. And most importantly, no one would know what they did here. After they returned to Japan, they would still be normal women. They wouldn't have to marry an actor who did the same job because they filmed porn. Most of the time, people's thoughts were completely different. Miss Fukada, I have something that I don't know if I should tell you, Yamaguchi Shin said lightly. I'm worried that you will mind. Misa Fukada shook her head. Please tell me what it is. She was very lucky to be able to hide in such a safe place. Misa Fukada knew too well that it was impossible for her to escape from the pursuit of so many experts with her own ability. She also knew that Su Yun wouldn't let her go easily. That was why she found such a safe place for her. If Yamaguchi Shin didn't help her, she couldn't do anything. Now that he helped her, it was normal for him to ask for something. There's a sum of money that I don't know if Miss Fukada is interested in. Yamaguchi Shin said, 1 million yuan. Misa Fukada was stunned. What did Yamaguchi Shin mean? There are 2 customers in the shop who said that they wanted to try something new. In the end, they weren't satisfied with what I brought. Yamaguchi Shin said, one of them said that he heard the receptionist at the door say that I brought back a newcomer today. He didn't know that it was actually you. You didn't come here to do this. Mr. Yamaguchi, just say what you want. Misa Fukada basically understood what he meant. In fact, one of the customers wants you to accompany him. Yamaguchi Shin said, he has money. He said 1 million yuan, and I believe that he can afford it because he has a Centurion black gold card in his hand. He must be a very rich person, or he has a very rich father. Misa Fukada sneered. A chicken coop was a chicken coop. Things like this were bound to happen in here. Miss Fukada, if you don't want to, then I'll go and refuse them. Yamaguchi Shin said, I just think that it's very worthwhile to earn a lot of money from Huaxia. 1 million. Misa Fukada said, he really said that. Yamaguchi Shin nodded. Yes, he is willing to pay 1 million yuan. Miss Yamaguchi, if you want, we can split it 20 to 80. I only want 20%. After all, you don't work in my shop. You just need to use the conditions of my shop. Misa Fukada smiled. A businessman was indeed a businessman. No, in your place, we should split it 50 to 50. Yamaguchi Shin was stunned. He didn't expect Misa Fukada to agree so quickly. He could feel that Misa Fukada was definitely not a simple woman, so he had been very careful with this woman. Miss Fukada, if you agree, then we... Yamaguchi Shin couldn't believe this fact. Of course, we'll go now. Misa Fukada said. Of course, she wasn't going to serve. She was going to kill the Huaxia who wanted her to serve him. She wanted to let Yamaguchi Shin know that she wasn't an ordinary person and let him stop thinking about these messy things. Yamaguchi Shin was in a good mood. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make money. 50-50, this job would be 500,000 yuan. How many times would the Japanese girls in his hands have to do the whole set to earn that much? Miss Fukada, this way please. Yamaguchi Shin immediately led the way. Chapter 24-22. Misa Fukada wouldn't really cooperate to make money for Yamaguchi Shin. Although he did help her, she was obviously humiliated in this matter. She agreed to go to Yamaguchi Shin because she wanted to slap him in the face. She wanted to let this local Chinese know that not everyone could be humiliated by him with money. Even if this matter would affect Yamaguchi Shin's business, she didn't care. Who asked Yamaguchi Shin to be so unappreciative? He actually proposed such a thing to her. This was Yamaguchi Shin's carelessness. Perhaps 1 million was not a small number in his eyes, but Misa Fukada didn't think that this money could buy her dignity. After all, she was a samurai. Samurai naturally paid attention to different things. Under Yamaguchi Shin's lead, Misa Fukada quickly arrived at the guest's room. Yamaguchi Shin knocked on the door and entered, only to find that Shirley was alone in the room. Shirley looked up and down at Misa Fukada, who was brought in by Yamaguchi Shin. This girl was really good. It was definitely not a problem to bid 20 or 30,000 for a night here, but it was not worth 1 million. There were many internet celebrities in Huaxia who were prettier than her and knew how to dress up. That night, it was not more than 100,000. Misa Fukada looked at Shirley and was about to speak, but Yamaguchi Shin beat her to it. That. She went to the bathroom. You guys wait for a while, Shirley said. Then, do you two mean the two of you together? Or do you want to do it separately? Yamaguchi Shin said, if you want to do it together, I think we should discuss the price. Shirley waved his hand. No, don't do this useless thing. I don't have this hobby. This is what you Japanese like to do. I can't accept it. It's normal for you to think that only we Japanese have this hobby, but this situation only exists in CDs and hard drives in Japan, Misa Fukada said. But in Huaxia, it exists in reality. What do you mean? Shirley glanced at Misa Fukada. You mean, you tried it in Huaxia? Shameless. Misa Fukada glared. Shirley waved his hand disdainfully. You're already in this line of work, and you still have the nerve to call me shameless? A person who doesn't even have a sense of shame should take a good look at himself. If you can betray one person for money, you can also betray two people for more money. This is normal. Misa Fukada was about to turn hostile when Su-yun finally appeared at the door. Su-yun didn't go to the bathroom. Instead, he wanted to see if there were any other places on the third floor where people could escape. Now, Su-yun only had one thought in his mind. He couldn't let Misa Fukada escape. Now that the target had entered, Su-yun did not hesitate and blocked the door directly. I didn't think we'd meet again so soon. Your job is really changeable. Su-yun blocked the door and said with a smile, but I believe that this should be the last time we meet. When Misa Fukada saw Su-yun, her face changed directly. She didn't expect the other party to be so insidious and cunning. He actually used this method to deal with her. But she couldn't figure out how Su-yun managed to find her in such a short period of time. Yamaguchi Shin looked at the people in front of him with a blank face. He didn't know what happened at all. If it was Misa Fukada, she could completely rule out the possibility of being betrayed by Yamaguchi Shin. Huaxia has an idiom called catching a turtle in a jar. Su-yun said faintly, Today, I will explain to you what it means to catch a turtle in a jar. Misa Fukada stared at Su-yun fiercely. Do you think I'll give up without a fight? Then you're wrong. I won't sit still and wait for my death. Since you're so determined to kill me, then don't blame me for fighting to the death. Su-yun closed the door. The fish will die, but if the net is strong, then it won't break. Misa Fukada suddenly changed her target to Shirley. She couldn't feel any master's aura on Shirley, so she made a prompt decision. She suddenly took out the dagger hidden in her boots and took Shirley as a hostage. Misa Fukada's move was too sudden. Shirley didn't have time to react and was controlled by her. The dagger was directly pressed against his chin. At the same time, Su-yun also took control of Yamaguchi Shin. Yamaguchi Shin never thought that he would be involved in such a troublesome matter. What are you doing? Since it's your personal grudge, then solve it yourself. Don't get me involved. Yamaguchi Shin was miserable. I'm innocent. I have nothing to do with this matter. Su-yun said lightly, Shut up. Who asked you Japanese to take Huaxia hostage? That's her problem. You can solve it with her. You can't hurt me. Do you know who I am? Do you know what kind of relationship I have with the people in the consulate? Yamaguchi Shin said. I don't care what kind of relationship you have. You're in my hands. Don't complain when you die. Su-yun said, She let my people go, and I'll let you go. One-on-one, exchange. Yamaguchi Shin couldn't beg for mercy and couldn't break free. Compared to the calm Shirley, he was like an ant on a hot pan. Miss Fukada, help me, help me. The life in your hands is worthless. There's no need to be so unhappy. It's said that Hua-Xia people value friendship. The person in my hands is my capital to leave here. Mr. Yamaguchi, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I can't help you. Misa Fukada said. Yamaguchi Shin was stunned. Miss Fukada, do you know that you're ungrateful? You and I have no relationship at all. You came to my restaurant and asked for help. I saw that you're Japanese and didn't ask for anything. So I brought you here to protect you. You can't be ungrateful. Misa Fukada said, unfortunately, you're not safe here. You can't do this. Yamaguchi Shin couldn't believe that this woman was so cruel. Misa Fukada said, if you were safe here, this person wouldn't have found this place, and you wouldn't be in danger. I didn't suspect that you betrayed me because we're both subjects of the great Japanese Empire. Unreasonable. Yamaguchi Shin sighed. You can kill the person in your hands. It has nothing to do with me. Misa Fukada said, it'll bring you trouble. Su-yun saw that the person in his hands was useless, so he directly let go and pushed him to the corner. See? This is the person you helped. It's really a story of the farmer and the snake. Yamaguchi Shin was out of danger, but anger was still burning in his heart. This woman really disappointed him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill him now. Misa Fukada said, since you're not going to let me leave alive, I'll definitely find someone to be my scapegoat. Su-yun had no choice but to open the door and leave the room. He blocked the only way to the window. Now if Misa Fukada wanted to escape, she could only take the stairs. You'd better not play tricks. Your friend only has one life. Misa Fukada said. Shirley said unhappily, if you have the ability, just give me a quick death. I'll kill you even if I become a ghost. If you don't have the guts, don't talk nonsense here. The knife is in your hand. If you dare, just give it a try. With so many years of social experience, Shirley was very clear about when a person would hurt and when they wouldn't. People who really wanted to kill you wouldn't negotiate with you with a knife at your throat. As long as it was like this, there must be a condition and a purpose. They wouldn't really hurt you. Shut up. Misa Fukada didn't want to be threatened. This kind of threat made her feel very uncomfortable. Su-yun had already stepped aside. Misa Fukada was a little impatient to leave. After she quickly walked out of the room, she suddenly threw a special smoke bomb in her hand on the ground. The huge white smoke instantly covered everyone's eyes. Su-yun didn't wait for the smoke to dissipate. He ran directly to the window as fast as he could. He just figured out the situation here to prevent this kind of thing from happening. Misa Fukada had used this method to escape once, so Su-yun couldn't let her succeed this time. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.